Media transmissions from Earth have polluted the Milky Way galaxy with completely unwatchable content. Fearing these signals will spread beyond our galaxy, Captain S and the Zero-One Legion have headed to Earth to destroy the source of this woke mind virus.
There. Jingle bells, Batman smells, and guess what? Rocksteady gave you a dead Batman for Christmas.
Hey guys, don't worry. Kane the Conqueror may be dead, but at least he still got that gold derma. No, it's over. We're so screwed. It's over.
A few months back, I actually predicted that Rocksteady was going to make a profit off of Kevin Conroy's death, and I was completely wrong. That game is not going to make a profit.
I was told I had to make an intro for myself. That's all I get paid to do. So here we are.
That was an incredible. You definitely knocked it out of the park. I love that. The suit up thing. That was awesome. So, good job. Mission accomplished.
I told him he should have went with like the 16-bit Bret the Hitman Hart theme, the one that can't get copyright claim.
Yes. Maybe in the future, maybe we'll have that for our guest intro. But before guests, I would like to welcome everybody here in the chat and on the stream to the 01 show here at Bounding Into Comics. I am your editor-in-chief and host, Spencer Baculi, and oh man, it is the 5 days until Christmas, and have we been just given present after present after present by the entertainment industry. We have so much to get through tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce everybody who's here with me. I have my good man Cider over here, our video expert, the guy who makes everything look pretty and nice. We've got Jacob, Society Reviews. You know him. He's got the best takes, and he's watched too many bad movies. It pains my soul when I think about the movies that he's watched.
I have to watch 4 this week.
Dude, that's and you had to watch Wonka last week. Like that's what really pains me. It's like, yeah, some movies are just boring and middling, but you have to go see the trash.
Yeah.
And then of course we have our resident Brit, Josh Berger, down there, my associate editor. And yeah, welcome to the show. It's gonna be a big one. We have a lot to get into. I think I want to start right off the top off of something I want to jump off of what Jacob said, because right before we came on, a rumor dropped, and I don't have an article on it. I don't have a tweet on it because it literally just dropped. But apparently, according to Jeff Snyder of the Hot Mic, who you guys may know, he's dropped a lot of scoops in the past, especially Marvel related. But according to him, with the whole Jonathan Majors situation, Secret Wars is or Kang Dynasty is no longer Kang Dynasty, but apparently Secret Wars is now a 5-hour 2-part movie. That's where we're at right now. We're at we're at the actual comic book crossover on screen, where you have to go find every single issue and read every single thing. And then add to that, you've got the other rumor that's floating around that Spider-Man 4 is being developed as sort of a street level Civil War. So you're going to see a bunch of other street heroes, but those other street heroes they named are like Jessica Jones, which, okay, cool. And then Kate Bishop and Echo. Like,
yeah, I know all the cool street level heroes you want to see, like someone like Daredevil, Punisher. Like you throw your bone, throw like Wolverine in there if you want to. Somebody like really cool, but no, we get like Kate Bishop and like Jessica Jones, who hasn't been on TV in like 7 years. Like this is what you get.
And you're gonna get the super Marvelified Indian outfit Echo with her super fantastic upgraded prosthetic leg. Like we're at the
with a hatchet.
It's like Jacob said at the top. Like Marvel is pretty much screwed at this point. After the Jonathan Majors decision, after going all in on that, and now they're scrambling. It's not looking hot for them. And of course, yeah, I'm with Jacob. I'm genuinely excited for Echo because it's going to be a train wreck. It's going to be an absolute mess. And we all know that from the start. Like I've read some plot leaks that talk about, the Kingpin was such a nice, caring soul to her. And it's so weird. It's more of that let's redeem villains thing. And it's just so boring.
We're literally doing the Thanos Gamora arc with Kingpin and Echo.
Oh, you're right.
On a much lower scale. On a much lower scale. Because now this is a streaming service TV show. So.
Oh, it's a streaming service TV show. Dude, I saw somebody laid it out today. Next year, Marvel is only doing one movie, which is Deadpool, and then 5 or 6 different TV series, things like Agatha, Echo. Apparently that Wakanda series is still happening, the Spider-Man animated one. And it's just sort of like, I think, we're cooked. I'm cooked. Like there's nothing that the MCU can really do anymore to hype people up. They're wasting all their ammunition. If the rumors are true and Secret Wars just ends up being a giant cameo fest, does anybody, obviously people want that because there are seal clappers, but like, is that really going to endear Marvel to the audiences, or is it just going to cause everybody to go, oh, you're desperate. You're desperate.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
I am excited for next product because next product is Echo. Yeah, that's.
But before we go into products, we have an excellent member in the chat. This is Tatsu Sama that is gifted
Tatsu. Oh my gosh, 5
to
founding subs. That's incredible. You are the best. Everybody, if you get a sub, thank Tatsu. That's amazing. I think that's the first time. I think that's Go Power Rangers, especially now that it is out of Bennett's control, dude. We'll get back to that. Well, let me finish thanking real quick. Yeah, Tatsu, that's the first time I think I've seen anybody gift subs on the channel, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. You rule. Everybody thank Tatsu. But to Tatsu's point about Go Power Rangers, Cider, I think that with the recent Hasbro news, I think we're not going to see them for a while, like that property for a while. Because with Hasbro cutting everything and slashing staff and trying to cut budgets and Power Rangers having just come to an end, do they even really like that property? It doesn't feel like they do.
Well, from what I understand on the inside, it's really difficult for them to market because the only people that pay for the toys are the adults. The only people consuming the visual product are children. So, and so there's no crossroad. They try that with Dino and Cosmic Fury, which was a cameo fest. It was like, do you remember when? Memberberry episode after Memberberry episode, and it didn't save the series. They ended up turning
once and always.
They ended up turning the Red Ranger from that series into Jesus. I'm not kidding you. He resurrects the dead. He's Jesus.
Zayato, from the very hop.
Yep.
Your vaguely ethnic Jesus.
yeah. Blasian. They were celebrating him as the first Blasian Red Ranger. That's how desperate they were for attention.
And those suits are so bad. I can't stand those suits.
It's another thing. Like they couldn't even pay AI to come up with a good idea. So the situation that you're facing is that Hasbro itself does not know what to do with this property. They have been 7 years now. I know how to count, but 7 years now trying to do an adult-ish reboot, like a Buffy-esque reboot of the series with Jonathan Entwistle at the head of it. And
has he been on it that long?
He doesn't even have a script. He doesn't even have a script yet. Nothing. Dude, 7 years. His kids have gone through college.
Crazy.
And
I
he
can't
has
believe
the script.
I didn't know he was attached the entire time. I thought that was something that just happened in the last like
No.
2 years. That's crazy. I cannot
7
believe it.
years he's been on the reboot since they obtained it after the flop in 2017.
Oh, yeah. And for all intents and purposes, everything that's being reported about that reboot is that it's going to be your young adult centered Power Rangers reboot, which to me is just code for you remember Naomi. Yeah, that. And you remember Naomi, you remember Supergirl. Buckle up.
Hey,
Like it's
you
just gonna be
remember
all
young
that.
adult movies? You know that genre that died out like 10 years ago?
The last
back,
like
baby.
young adult thing I saw that wasn't like complete dribble and I saw actual teenagers watching, there's some series on Netflix about like a lakeside summer camp or like a beach summer camp. All the teenagers love it. It's like a young adult oriented show. It's normal, right? Like it's just your stupid drama stuff, but that's the kind of stuff that kids will watch. They're not going to watch Power Rangers that lecture them even harder, especially if you're going to that young adult market.
And this is the big problem that Hollywood has run into lots of times. And we can use the example of Wonka. When they try to revive something that was popular like 3 or 4 decades ago, and all of a sudden, hey, let's bring it back. It's like you immediately don't know who your audience is, because anyone who was actually like old enough to remember the series when it was like popular like 30, 40 years ago has moved on so far past this, they're not going to be interested in this crap. And then the younger audience that you're trying to, I guess, endure to, they have absolutely no idea what any of this is because they didn't watch it 30 years ago. So it's like, who is this for? It's for absolutely no one.
It's for the Timothy Chalamet fans, but that leads into the problem we talked about before, where there are no like movie stars. Like he's not a draw. You can put him in and people will go, oh, I know him, but it's not like a Brad Pitt thing back in the 90s or a Tom Cruise thing back then. You know
I'm sorry, but please tell me that David Yost picture is like AI art and it's not his real face.
That's him.
Oh,
he looks
no.
like a wax doll in Madame Tussauds wax museum. Yeah,
dude, he does. What happened to his eyes? They
Botox.
like super Botoxed it. Yeah.
When we reviewed the Power Rangers movie last year, I literally said he looks like Dennis from Always Sunny. He looks even worse now.
Yeah.
Somehow
he looks like Dennis doing his his flirting face. Like it's really bad. That's really bad.
There you go.
See, I hate those suits. They're so boring compared
Everybody
to
hates them.
Yeah, they're really bad. And then David Yost is back. That's what I saw somebody the other day, Cider. I think they might have been replying to you or replying to some comment somewhere, like one of our articles, but they were basically like, oh yeah, Power Rangers is sunk, whatever. There's no way to save it unless you do a bunch of once and always specials for the rest of the seasons and sort of keep it going. And I'm like, I don't want to start seeing the Zeo Rangers come back and the Turbo Rangers and all of
You'll
that.
never guess what they're trying to pull off next year. Netflix has announced they're going to try and do an SPD 10 years after.
No.
Yes.
No.
But
well,
see, here's the problem: is the Yellow Ranger is a stripper.
Yes.
She has an OnlyFans even, and the Red Ranger, he became successful as like a CBS primetime crime TV show star. So there's no way he's coming back and being like, sure, I'll put the red spandex of death back on and ruin my career again.
He's gonna do like a screen cameo. Like he's gonna call in at best and be like,
good luck, guys. You guys, you got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, but that sounds awful. Like,
yes,
SPD rules, and they're just, I don't know. I don't even know who's in charge of it anymore now that Bennett's gone. Is it just Netflix executives, the like random board? I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea.
They sold off the movie rights to Lionsgate. So Lionsgate has all those things. Now they reserve the right to do a Netflix show, right? And so my guess is Netflix producers are in charge of the show, but the production of it is in-house at Hasbro. And that's why they've downsized. Yeah. That's why they've downsized the toy department to put more effort into the streaming department. Because, guys, if you haven't noticed, we're not having a lot of babies anymore.
We're not having a lot of babies. They're all shrinking down. And then this, like, you have that. So the kids, there's no kids getting this merch. And then, I mean, we see like every week a new picture from Ollie's out in the like Midwest, or not even the Midwest, like the Southwest, I guess I have no idea where they're primarily
wherever
located.
Chipotle sauce comes from.
Yeah, exactly. But every week there's a new picture of Ollie's of Star Wars toys or Star Trek toys or Wakanda Forever toys. And for those who don't know, Ollie's is a discount retailer where if you're Target or Toys R Us, they don't exist anymore, Target or Walmart or something, and you just cannot move your Rey action figures, your Rose Tico action figures, Ollie's is one of those sort of stores that will buy the inventory from you for super cheap and then retail it for, $1 or $2, because that's profit to them. So that is sort of where Hasbro is now. Like Hasbro, not so much Mattel. Mattel, I guess, has been doing fine because their Barbie toys are doing okay because it's Barbie. But Mattel is basically just an Ollie's brand now. It's an Ollie's subsidiary or Hasbro. Sorry.
So because of Kappa, RJ McReady, I can't show you what she gets up to.
But, no.
If she's before OnlyFans, what she had done is she had a latex version of the SPD suit that she wore, like a 1-to-1 latex version of the spandex suit, where she was doing burlesque dances, head to toe in the helmet, and then would proceed to de-helmet herself, and then disrobe from there. And that's obviously I can't show you. This is Z. You remember the Yellow Ranger from SPD, the one that could clone herself over and over again?
Oh,
Z
no.
Delgado.
Yeah, see what you said. Okay.
Z Delgado, Jack's sister. Okay.
No.
Yeah. That one. Okay. Now everybody's gonna go look it up. Okay, guys. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
I'm trying. I'm just trying to grab a photo of her so we can show everybody
research
what we're
purposes.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Honestly,
so that wasn't even the
full
chick I was thinking it was anyway. Never mind.
Yeah, but for curiosity's sake, because I stopped watching the Power Rangers in like '95, so I have no idea what SPD is.
It's very hard to find a picture here where she's
I
not.
know,
right? Okay. Here's one from the
one?
show.
I couldn't find one either. I tried like 3 different Google terms. So I couldn't find one of her.
Well, you can find plenty of her. You might be finding too much. That's all. It's maybe a little too much. There you go.
Yeah, so there she is. She totally, after the show, she became like a burlesque model. She doesn't hide it. She's very out there.
This one's easier to. Oh, and it's microscopic because the internet's full of jokesters.
I
hate it. Is it really any worse than the chick from Wild Force who went on to be like topless in that Not a Teen movie, like literally 2 years after she did Power Rangers?
I would say yes, because at least that was like a movie and like a quick role.
This is what happened.
Yes, exactly. She went full like ethot. SPD burlesque shows it off all the time. I remember back in the day when I discovered that she was doing this and somebody posted a picture, I think it was on like Twitter. The first reply was like, Doggy Kruger. He's so like, no, he's so disappointed. The leader of SPD, and it stuck with me ever since.
There you go.
Yeah, you can find her, easily throw in. Her name's Monica May, I think it's Monica May is the actress's name. So have fun, guys. That's our Christmas present to you, the Yellow Ranger. But let's see. Obviously, that was a Power Rangers detour. I know Cider is like the only other person I have to talk Power Rangers with, so I needed to take it. But we have a lot to get into. I think we should start with saying hi to the chat. I know they're already going, but I see a bunch of lovely people in there. We obviously had our good friend Leslie Tarkin saying, hail to all you lovely people. Merry Christmas. Yes, I'm so excited for Christmas, mostly for, it's an excuse to, just eat all day and do nothing and be lazy and commit the worst of hedonistic sins, right? Well, okay. I mean that in the sense of like eating a lot of food and drinking, not everything else. As soon as that left my mouth, I was like, oh, okay, wait, that could be a lot of other things.
I mean, if you take those two to an extreme, they're pretty bad in and of themselves. But there's some other bad stuff attached to that as well.
If I really wanted to go with that promise, I could just go to Twitch, right? They would fully support what I wanted.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
RJ McReady says, am back after Doctor. Am flying a bit, so won't say much, but Harley Quinn is jumping the shark. Yes, we will get... I don't know if you're talking about the show or the character in Suicide Squad. If you're talking about the character, yes, she absolutely has literally and metaphorically jumped the shark. We'll talk about it. If it's the show, I've literally never watched a single episode of it. I do not care about the Harley Quinn animated show. If you guys like it, that's fine. I do not personally care. And then, yes, rest in peace to James McCaffrey, the actor, the iconic voice role of Max Payne. He died earlier this week, or I believe late last week, and it's just a bummer, as always. We have DZ3 in the house saying hello, everybody. We have Scribe Light. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Scribe. It's always nice. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We have Don't Let Them Burn. I've been taught. I know Don't Let Them Burn from Jacob's stream, so that's awesome to see you over here. 01. Cider, would you like to explain our 01?
01 is basically an evolution of the Black Pill stream. Black Pill was where we would come on, we would talk about our grievances with pop culture problems. 01 is basically we destroy what we complain about. Tonight,
we're going to do something about it.
Tonight, we have the laser already warmed up and ready to go, so don't worry.
Let me give you the mouth breather version of the show. So you know the zeros and the ones that you see in binary code when you watch like the Matrix movie? Yeah, we've...
Nerd. Yeah, RJ.
Start licking windows.
Yeah, I had to get a haircut. I think a couple streams now I've had it, but my hair was just getting way too long. It was to the point where it was in the samurai bun all the time, and that was just annoying. We have Valentine Toybox saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Valentine. Nice to see you. Tacitus Jones. Jacob is always willing to take one for the team. Oh, how about that?
Yeah, not like Tom Holland, though, but you know, the other way.
Jabba the Ender of...
Wait,
oh, my God.
What kind of other way?
Jabba the Ender of Stream says, what are your top 10 Star Wars fights? So I think 10 might be a lot for the stream. So how about we narrow this down for each of us? Top 3 Star Wars fights. Let's start with you, Cider. What do you think? If you have them off the top of your head. I know Josh does.
When C-3PO got turned into a battle droid and he was like, I hate this. Why am I here? And he was screaming like a little girl.
I like when Blue Stick Man fought the Red Stick Man. And then...
Yeah.
and the light flash. And
he said, I'm your daddy. And the other guy was like, no, I'm not gay. And he ran away. And
my favorite fight was the one between Rey and her past, where she finally embraced the Skywalker name. I think honestly, if I had to
everybody's taking the piss, and I was like, no, I can't really choose one.
No, I'm gonna drop mine. My top 3 are Luke. Number 1 is Luke versus Vader in Cloud City. Number 2 is honestly, I really like the fight from Force Awakens in the rubble of the of like Maz Kanata's bar, where like everything's chaos, and then you get like the lightsaber
with the
fight
traitor guy.
Yeah, traitor. That like I like that moment as like a fight, and then I think number 3, that's going to be hard, but I might have to go with. See, my brain just goes back to the Duel of the Fates, like at the very end of Revenge.
Episode 1.
No.
That's
episode 1. I mean,
that's a real Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. And so that maybe that one, just because it's so, I don't know, it's Star Wars. Like that always sticks in my mind.
Right. That is the worst one, in my opinion.
Really? Oh, you've told me that before. I know.
I don't really. Yeah, like Revenge of the Sith. I think it's just like I don't know. I don't like the fight. I like the movie better than the climax of the whole thing. And the favorite one, Luke versus Vader, Cloud City, is obvious.
Yeah, right. Like that's just the best one.
It's just iconic.
The Revenge of the Sith fight, I'm always torn on, because there's a part of me, the like 14-year-old boy in me is like, whoa, he's like jumping super high. They're like slashing at each other and everything's on fire. That's so cool.
The floor is literally lava.
Right, exactly. So that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, oh, that's so cool. But then the like adult actual film watcher in me remembers the scenes where Anakin and Obi-Wan are twirling their lightsabers at each other, or the force push where they just sort of stand there for a second. And it's wacky, but I think I just miss when like that level of wackiness. I guess I have no idea what I'm trying to rationalize here.
Yeah, no, you're right. It takes itself too seriously. There was a time when R2-D2 was fighting siege droids by pissing on them with oil.
Right.
And he doesn't even run on oil. There's no oil in space.
And nowadays there's fuel. We know this from the what's her
that's
maneuver?
right.
The
The Last
maneuver.
Jedi.
Yeah, the Holdo maneuver. We know there's oil. We know there's space Iraq that Space America wants to pay a visit to.
Space Saudi Arabia, right?
Hey, the Space Monaco, Space Iraq. It's just
right? Space Iraq. Oh no. That means there's Space Fallujah.
Do you remember when the third
I wonder where
Space
Israel is.
You think there's a Space Harlem out there somewhere?
Coruscant, the slums of Coruscant. Josh, what were you saying? Sorry about that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it does. Say what you're saying.
No, that was I was going to bring up that back in the day because you were like, oh yeah, Space Iran or whatever, and that already exists. It's called Mustafa, and it's very intentionally racist.
No, see, okay, you bring that up, but my favorite like intentionally racist.
And we
name
already
for a
had the
place-
Sand People as well, so.
We had the Sand People, but in Transformers, like the old 1986 cartoon, there's an episode that takes place in the Middle East, but instead of using a real country, the country they go to is literally called Carbomia, like Carbombya. Like it's pretty great.
Carbomia. Yep.
Were they
That's
Irish?
my favorite. Like, no, they're full. There
were a lot of
full
turbans
Saudis.
in that episode. Let's put it that way.
Those type of car
turbans.
bombs. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see. Where were we? RJ says, yeah, 5 hours of Marvel. I think that violates the Geneva Convention. I saw that tweet from Jeff Snyder come across my feed as Snyder was hitting play, and I just felt the life like draw out of me. Like it's so. These aren't like movies that are fun to watch anymore, where you go and you're like, oh man, I had a really good time. Maybe you get an occasional one like Guardians or Spider-Man, but these are chores now. These are homework. These are
hostage situations.
Dude, it really is a hostage situation. Like you are going to spend the next at least 5 hours of your life, to like giving it to us and watching all of our cameos and consuming product in like the most distilled form, and you're going to like it.
But you know why that is? It's because those 5 hours have to make up the work of 10 years in order to get the audience to a position where they'll give a damn about the last 10 minutes of that movie. That's all those 5 hours are meant to do, is to make you cry at the end of the last 10 minutes.
And here's the problem. This
Remember
is the
Iron
problem
Man?
that Marvel really is not prepared for at all. They're going to sink roughly $300 to $350 million on these Avengers movies easily, right? You can even say 400 if we're being honest.
400 is more like it.
They honestly think that those movies are going to do like well over $1 billion, and they're going to have to just to at least break even. They're not prepared for the reality of releasing an Avengers movie in theaters and losing over $300 million. They're not even ready for that reality.
I mean, they already sort of went through it with Wakanda, right? Like that thing cost like $1 billion and a half to make. I don't think it made back their money. We know that The Marvels is a disaster. It's the worst movie of all of their entire franchise. I think
the last MCU film that actually made his money back was Doctor Strange 2. That was probably the last one. I think Thor barely made any money.
Did it? I could believe Thor barely did. I think with Thor, when it came out, there was just enough goodwill left with both the character and Taika among like normie audiences to just barely push it there. But you're not going to get that again. Like if he did another Thor movie, you're looking at the Marvels.
You talk to normies, and even I agree with it. I like Ragnarok. I like dumb Thor, but I like dumb Thor when he has a good ending. When he's the good guy and he comes out on top. I don't like it when he gets punched back down again into dirt. I liked him winning and like, yeah, I'm not that bright, but I found my way, dang it. I can be king. I don't need to be a genius. My heart will lead me.
You don't like your hero's journey ending with something non-heroic, with a loss?
With him becoming a drunk sad sack in Nova Scotia? Yeah, it sounds real.
So bad.
Yeah, but that I like dumb Thor. A lot of normies do too, because they're like, I can relate to this guy. I wouldn't know what to do if I found a work friend on another planet.
But here's the problem.
What do you describe Thor as? He's a work friend.
They did I said funny dorky Thor in Ragnarok, but then it all came full circle when that movie led to the beginning of Infinity War. We turned it all the way back to serious Thor, and then we kind of gave him like this big conclusion. It's like, well, we took away his family, his mother, his whole world has been destroyed. He's lost absolutely everything, and now all he has left is revenge. And then they had him at a peak, and then it's like, oh, let's just do funny fat Thor again.
And you can actually kind of see it as well, like the Russo brothers working their way through the Bad Rising of Ragnarok and turning him into like the Big Lebowski character, and it's like, why are you doing this, right? Even though I really do believe that the end scene with the fight is really, really good, and I'm glad that they didn't turn him slim again. No, Endgame. Like at
Oh,
the,
yeah,
at the
yeah,
very
yeah,
end
of course. Yeah.
you know,
When he,
when you
like,
basically
suits up
just
and stuff.
glorify Thor again, even though he's still fat. It's like it's fat Thor, but he's still
But he's Thor.
powerful.
He's
Yeah,
still
he's
Like
Thor.
Liver
right, yeah.
King Thor. Yeah.
Oh, no, not the Liver King. That dude, I saw that video of that guy. If you guys don't know, there's this guy called the Liver King who like just eats like raw meat, liver, and it
Raw liver.
Takes
Yeah.
lots of steroids.
yeah, he's like a fitness instructor, so he's super buff. I guess like a couple months ago, he got some diagnosis from his doctor where he had to like cut back or he would die. Oh, cut back on working out because it was like straining his system too much. So I saw this video of
No,
him where he got, like,
I'm pretty sure it was
electric-
steroids that were straight.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying too. That's what I was saying too. But then in the video, he's like laying in a chair and he's like, "Doctor said I can't work out, but watch, I'll defy them." And he puts like shock pads on his chest and he's just like, "Hit me." And then at one point, the reason it sticks with me, he's like, "Thanos couldn't take this. Hit me with Thanos." And I'm just like, what is that? Like, what? Why am I here? What happened? Why am I watching this video? What happened in my life? This is on me.
Yeah, basically his doctor said if you keep taking steroids, your heart is going to explode like a baked potato in a microwave. You should probably stop. And then it's like, oh, it's because I'm
And he
working
said,
out too
"No
much, bro."
potatoes." Yeah, exactly. Doctors hate me. They don't. I have the 10 chips that you don't. They don't want you to hear or whatever it is. The thing, like, even the normie thing even extends to like Ragnarok. Like the sentiments we all have here are not that far divided from normie sentiments, right? I remember when Love and Thunder came out. First of all, that movie, I hate that movie for its opening sequence because in the opening sequence there is a moment, and this to me was like Thor's dead, Taika sucks, I hate everything about this, Marvel is stupid now. There's a moment where Thor, and if you read any of my articles about it, I always use the picture, but Thor does like a cartoon split kick on two like speeders that are like coming at him, and he like split kicks and he goes, "Whoa!" And it's like so cartoony, and I was just like, the hell are we doing here?
He's doing
what
the-
are
I'm
we
pi-
doing here?
I'm pretty sure that's a reference to Van Damme doing the same thing on the trucks.
Oh,
pretty
I
sure
bet,
that's the-
yeah,
that's the whole
I
thing.
bet you it is, but like they played it up so goofy, not like cool, like because they drew attention to it. It wasn't like Thor just like jumped up, split them, and then like got back down to fight. He jumps up, splits them, stays there, and does
Well, wait.
a weird like battle.
Hold
cry.
hold on. We got to set up this whole scene. These two guys, these two marauders that he and the Guardians are like roughing up. These two marauders on these flying speeder motorcycle things. They are like chicken driving at each other. Like they are going to
It's
hit
so
each other head
And
on
you
with
can
Thor
see-
in the
you can-
middle.
they can see each other, right? They
Yeah,
can see each
this
other
isn't
on
like
the
in a
other
cloud
side.
of dust. They're like literally signaling this is our suicide run. You know, they're running at going at each other. And so Thor, he looks at the camera like one of those, look at me, now look back at your man, now look back at me, like one of those Allspice
The
commercials.
Old Spice commercials.
Old Spice
yeah.
commercials. And then he just leaps up like Mario and does the split kick thing like Van Damme. And you see the slow motion explosion. The two aliens kiss each other right in front of him, and their heads explode and guts go everywhere. And Thor's going into the camera. You know,
It's so bad. Here, I've got the scene. Let's show everybody exactly what we're talking about. I've got my copy of Thor in the computer. This is what Cider and I are talking about. Look at how
this is the
stupid all of this
demonetized part
is.
of the stream.
It's fair use. We'll give our commentary over it.
Yeah, we'll get our
Not-
monetization
not if I
monetization back in
use
about
the music.
31 days.
I know, right? Not if I have the music on. But so here come all the speeders. Oh, Thor uses his hammer. He's taking them out.
5
Whoa,
hours
here
of
comes-
this, by the way.
Oh, here come the
See,
suicide
they're
run. like-
signaling. And there he is. Just like,
Oh,
and then everybody's like making jokes, and it like lingers here, and he does the stare down. It's so dumb. It's like a joke you would make in a remember in Dexter's Lab they had the Avengers parody and they had Van Halen. Like this feels like a Van Halen joke, not a. And then there's
Yeah.
all this. It's just he even looks
The
like Van
Justice
Halen,
Friends.
kinda. Yeah, the Justice Friends. But yeah, that's
Now,
the,
look,
like.
I know that the overwhelming majority of my predictions have come true, which should be a warning for all you guys to listen to my Monday Night
I'm
Bible
so
podcast.
sorry, but I'm so
Yeah,
sorry,
but-
but everything I say is right.
But I just wanted to point this out. I said this like literally the week before this movie came out. It's like Chris Hemsworth absolutely hates Taika Waititi. Now, he didn't
Yep.
say it
Oh,
in print,
dude.
but
You
if
know?
you can read it in between the lines, it's like he cannot stand this dude at all. And the only way that you can even think about talking him to come back is that he has to be completely removed from the franchise. What happened a year later? Taika Waititi, oh yeah, no, I'm not coming back
Goodbye.
and doing Thor.
I'm doing
As-
Star
as
Wars
if you
now,
had a
Mike.
chance. Yeah.
Now that's we're gonna go to Space New Zealand. I bet you his movie takes place on Space Monaco. I bet you that's where his movie takes place.
Space Maori. They're gonna have Space Maori out there.
Oh, they already have Space Maori. That's like the wait. No, I'm thinking of a complete. I was thinking of Dune.
Yeah,
because what's
Wrong.
his name? Somebody said
sci-fi
somebody
thing
said
that puts
something
you to
about Dune.
sleep.
Right?
Imagine how much better the Disney Star Wars movies
Princess
would be if it was
Erdogan.
about Rey and Finn and Space Monaco rather than wherever the hell they gave us for 3 movies.
I want to
Wow.
remind everyone they went
Pod
to
racing,
Monaco.
right?
They went to Monaco and saw enslaved children, and
Mhm.
instead decided to free the horse dog thing.
Yep.
Like,
Good luck with human trafficking, kids. Bye.
No, you got to go even deeper than that. They went to Space Monaco in the first place to find the guy to help them lower the ships in the battle they were actually fighting. Went there, found some other guy, didn't even find the guy they were supposed to find. And then when they brought the other dude back, turns out they didn't need the plan at all. So it was a complete waste of time all around.
all
But they
of that
freed those
movie is
horses.
Mhm.
I'm so, and then at the end, they like highlight the kid. Like, remember that kid who's in captivity? Well, he can use the force a little bit, but he's still a slave. So have fun with that.
His force abilities are only good for a broom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like his slave master's like, oh, good, you're that kind of Jedi.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Von Mueller's right. Thor's wearing the Thunder Strike outfit. I never noticed that. That's right.
They're literally going to turn that kid into a tap dancing slave.
Dude, that kid. They're either gonna forget about that kid or they're gonna bring that kid back in like a Disney Plus series where he's a bad guy and like the acolyte chick, whatever, the Hunger Games girl, her character, she's gonna like have to fight him or whatever. That series is still coming from Hunger Games chick and Jodie Turner Smith, and it's gonna be Kathleen Kennedy all like to the max.
Mhm. It is going to be Cinematic 9/11 all over again. I can't wait.
Oh, it's gonna be such a disaster. Like it's going
Rachel
to be.
Ziegler can't melt steel beams.
Ooh. I mean, she could, but then she'd, walk it back immediately and say that she couldn't. If DC3 says, if Dumb Thor, Ragnarok, and Love and Blunder, if Amalgamation one, I would say maybe the first 2. Oh, you're saying like what characterization you would like mash up to make your Thors? Yeah, I mean, so like to me, Thor was dumb, but not in the like he's an outright moron kind of way, but more the like innocent, playful, like he's just a boy,
Well,
right? Like he's a
take
young
him-
man.
Take him at the end of Ragnarok where they left him, where he had one eye left. He'd lost his eye like his father, and he had assumed basically the status of Odin King Thor, ruined King Thor. He'd have basically arrived at that status. He was resettling his people as a fresh king that had earned that throne, right? And so he'd even made peace with Surtur, something his father couldn't accomplish. So this whole thing was going very well. Like I fully expected to have Rune King Thor in Endgame. That's where I thought what we were going to get was Rune King Thor, like the full realized badass guy that's still a little jokey, but he's a king now. He's got business to take care of.
Like
But
he will
no.
not stand for this. Yeah.
We got Pudgeon's Thor, and then we got this clown act here because they didn't know what to do with him after that.
We've had 4 Thor movies and God knows how many Avenger appearances. We still haven't even got Beta Ray Bill. Like this is how
Right.
bad this whole thing's been muffed
But
up.
we got Jane. Aren't you so excited?
If
We got the
you-
Jane Foster story. Like, on
If
the
you
screen?
want to fix Thor 5 or whatever the hell they're going to do next with him, right? It should be a like 1-to-1 Beta Ray Bill and Thor, Starsky and Hutch. They should have a stupid space car.
man.
They should have like a dumb Huggy Bear kind of space pimp that they work with.
Space
It
Pimp.
Thor should have bell-bottom pants. Go wall to wall with that buddy cop 70s vibe and just do it. That's the only way to save him at this point is to give him a pure, like front to back, A to B, clear black and white bad guy situation. No more gray area. No more having to take care of the bad guy's kid.
Oh yeah, that's there now. Love or whatever. Like
I hate that.
That's I hate it so much. And you know she's gonna be a young Avenger. And then that's the thing with that movie. That like Thor Love and Thunder does the whole thing where it's like, oh, Thor can share his powers with everybody. But it's like, then why doesn't he do that with the Avengers? What are we doing here? This is so stupid. You're ruining
Yeah,
it.
you know, Hawkeye and Black Widow probably would have done a lot better on that whole soul sacrifice planet if they maybe had like the power of Thor. Maybe.
Remember when Thanos directed all of his cannons down on the ground and just like wiped out a fourth of the army? I'm pretty sure some lightning would have helped there. You know, maybe you could fly away. So bad. Yeah, Tatsu says Cider is in full nerd mode. Hey, where do you think we are?
It's true. It's dead. You're right.
Yes, the MCU is the ED dead. And I think Cider, that would be that's a perfect transition. Let's pull up the X-Men story. Let's start there for tonight.
Yep.
Because
absolutely.
Yeah, let's start there. 40 minutes into the show.
Look, I blame the chat. If the chat doesn't want rambling, they need to be quiet. So, in case you guys haven't seen the news, and yes, we are giving evidence to Tatsu's point that the MCU is dead. The latest rumor on the streets is that the upcoming X-Men film will be female-centric. They're going full X-women. They're leaning into that stupid moment from, what is that, Dark Phoenix, where Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence chastises Professor Xavier, all that dumb stuff. So this rumor comes from Daniel Richmond, who a lot of you guys may know. He's a very noted scooper. There isn't, you can just go down to the tweet Cider. That's really all the information we need. It was a very brief scoop, but according to Richmond, the X-Men reboot is going to focus on female characters, feature Mr. Sinister as its main villain in order to differentiate it from, it's Mr. Sinister as its main villain, and that's because they're not using Magneto because they want to separate it from the Fox universe, all that stuff, right? So that's the information we have. Now, obviously no confirmation, but honestly, like this is just like the most believable thing I think I've ever read.
Look, here's the thing that bothers me about this, okay? Yeah, female focus. Mr. Sinister is most consistently attempting to breed the X-Men, okay? To force breed Jean Grey and Scott Summers most of the time. And so so this is going to be an allegory for Roe v. Wade. That's exactly what this is going to be. He's going to force impregnate these characters, and they're going to have to make the decision to abort the Mr. Sinister babies. And it's going to be an allegory for women's abortion rights. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to use Mr. Sinister. He has no other role. There's no other thing he does other than try to like mix the X-Men up.
Like he's got some superpowers, but like he's not a brawler. Like he rarely fights. You know, it's sort of like only in those moments when everything's going to hell and the building's falling and he'll like punch his way out so he can escape, but he's not a fighter. So, dude, I think you're totally on the money.
They also kind of did that in the Black Widow movie with the Epstein stand-in right at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Which is incredibly stupid as well.
Dude, I was thinking about that scene earlier today because at the end of that, or like the whole motivation in that movie when she gets to that Epstein Red Room guy is like, he's like, oh yes, my whole intention with the Red Room is to make use of the world's most like neglected natural resource, girls. And it's just like, what do you
methane?
Like, what do you mean? Well, like there's other stuff like that, but also like, what do you mean, girl? Like you want to use them to fight, you want to use them to work, like what are you talking? You can't just say girls. Like you can't just go to a restaurant and say like, yeah, I'd like potato. Okay,
he wants to use them as construction material, right? He wants to build buildings out of girls.
Now Kiev,
like flesh.
No, they're just standing on top of each other like Chinese circus workers. Yeah,
they just stay there all day.
Yes, Brittany, you have to be the bank today. Those are the rules.
Yeah, Leslie says Mr. Sinister will be an alt-right Christian nationalist. I can see that too, because like to me, it's so on the nose that you know you're gonna have an all-female team, and then the villain is not only the whitest character, like literally whitest character you could possibly
Okay.
fine.
He's the villain version of a breeding fetish. Let's just cut to the chase. He's the villain version of a breeding fetish.
He is, but like he's the whitest person possible, and his name is explicitly Mr. Right? Like we don't have a lot of characters in
Madam
comic
Sinister
books.
isn't there. Yeah.
Not yet. But that's the thing is like, are they going to go so on the nose? Are they that lazy and like just dumb at this point that they're going to go all female team against what do you call it? Like the straw man stand-in for white Christian national like patriots or like whatever. I can see it happening.
I want to throw something
always.
at you. I want to throw something at you. Ryan Gosling's been talking to Disney about joining the
He has.
MCU. Now,
Kang variant.
he's got they're a little weird with Ken in Hollywood, if you don't know. You may not have been paying attention to how the meme has evolved, but I have. And they're quite threatened by it. No. He's gone out and done interviews to talk about how Kenergy means nothing. It's not real. It's just something I made up. You need to go home. You're dirty. Wash your hands and touch grass.
Oh,
It's
they're
not real.
definitely internally upset because Ken is now more over than Barbie, and that was not there.
Right.
Like I said, Greta Gerwig, everyone's giving her all this praise. Like she had no idea what she was actually doing when she was into this thing.
Right.
This whole Barbie meme is completely blown up in her face.
Exactly. And then so that what he needs is a solid win of a villain, right? Because he didn't get to do it as Ken. He became the hero by accident out on the internet. So this is what they're going to do is they're going to take hot to trot Ryan Gosling, hey girl, the literal it's me meme, and make him like this forced pregnancy villain that there's no redeemable aspect of him whatsoever. So if you try to come in and say like, oh, Ryan Gosling's literally me as Mr. whatever, I forgot his name again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Sinister, if you do that, then you're like this evil, super evil guy. And I'm going to guess that's their plan. We're not dealing with rocket scientists.
Well, it's funny you say that we're not dealing with rocket scientists because something that stood out to me in your preview there was the fact that, oh God, no, I lost my train of thought. Crap.
Energy?
It was related to Ken. It was related to all that. I don't know. It'll come back to me. Oh no, the fact that you said they'll make Ryan Gosling into the most evil, unredeemable villain, and it's like, yes, that's probably how they'll approach it. But because they're not rocket scientists, when the bean counters get in there eventually, they'll go, oh, well, can we bring him back? How can we redeem him or whatever? So then he'll be all irredeemable evil there. Then in like She-Hulk season 3, we're going to have like Mr. Sinister redemption arc. And then he's going to be a good guy and they're going to trip all over themselves. And it's not going to make any
He's
sense.
like running a daycare or something, right?
Right.
And he's just like, I really just wanted to be a dad. That's all. And I completely misinterpreted what I was feeling.
Or he just straight up becomes like an abortion doctor. Like he just runs an abortion clinic. Like that's kind of what
he's
like
got.
Mr.
Sinister's quick fixes, and there's like a logo of an egg beater out front.
It's like an egg beater with a red diamond on it. Absolutely
perfect. Yep, I could already horribly see it.
DZ says, I don't like that Dazzler costume. Should have gone with the shiny white one. I'm okay with it. It's fine, but I do like her shiny like disco one a lot more. It's I don't even think that's official art. I think it's just fan art.
Yeah,
but,
that's yeah.
And then Volume says, yes, my superpower is forgetting what to say at the wrong moment. We're gonna be in like a hot like aliens will invade and it'll come down to me to like negotiate. And I'll have to just say like that one phrase. Cider will be like, just tell them this, just that'll be it. And I'll get there and be like, oh crap. And then the earth is obliterated.
Just stick to the cards.
No, the best part is you'll have it down and packed, but the problem is there'll be the ink squids from Contact.
Oh no, and it'll just be like I won't have any way to actually communicate with them.
You'll hear this and then a question mark will appear in the air.
Flatulence.
Oh my god!
You saw that movie, Jacob? They're literally farting their language. You can't tell me otherwise.
It even like the gas comes out or whatever it is, like it comes out in like gas cloud.
Comes out
like,
all right.
Well, like when you see like a fart underwater and that bubble comes out, it comes out exactly like that. So
they communicate
right
in farts.
Dude, by
it's
like
that
tone,
fart in the water and drop a doo-doo log.
Yeah, that makes you king. That makes you the king.
You remember that joke with Roland Atkinson where he was on that planet where everybody communicated in farts?
No.
There's
he
okay,
really do
so
it?
I can't show it
Oh,
because we'll get
right.
struck, but there is a Roland Atkinson some comedy special. It's the one where he turns into a woman. It's literally the last 5 years
Oh,
of the Doctor
yeah.
Who series, but it's a joke series, okay? But
Yeah.
anyway, in that one, it begins with them exploring a planet where everyone spoke with their butts. They only spoke in farts.
I want to move. That reminds me of the South Park episode where they have the butt faces, and they just
Yes.
like every time.
Do you remember Assy McGee?
Yes, I remember asking McGee. Nobody remembers. I liked that show. I liked that. It was so stupid. And wasn't that in like Maine? Like, wasn't that in your or like New Hampshire?
I have
or
no
something?
idea.
Like,
it was like Boston, New York, or something.
Yeah,
but it was
something
just
like
like hips down Scotsman's butt cheeks fighting
We-
crime.
wielding a shotgun with like a bolero of like bullets on. He was the loose cannon cop, and he was just
And I
a walking
liked
butt.
when he got surprised or whatever. He made a fart noise when you like surprised him.
Yeah.
He go.
That's how you commit to
We're
the joke,
adults.
everybody. But okay, yeah. Speaking of being adults, that is where we are with the X-Men. To me, this really doesn't inspire any hope. Not that I really had any for it. Obviously, Kamala Khan's going to be a part of this movie because she's the MCU's first mutant. And while like it'll be nice to see Iman Vellani, it's just it's like we said, it's draining. It's not fun anymore. It's exhausting. Like I'm so often out with like my normie friends and stuff, and they go, "Oh, what have you guys watched on TV? What have you guys watched in like movies?" And everybody's talking about all this new stuff, and I'm like, "Did you guys watch Shazam: Fury of the Gods? It was pretty bad. Did you see Blue Beetle? That was pretty bad. Did you see Thor: Love and Thunder? That was pretty bad."
They put their hand on your shoulder and they're like, "Spencer, it's okay. You can wake up now. It's okay. The doctors say you've been asleep long enough. It's okay to wake up now."
I had this exact same conversation with my sister, and she came, like, we were talking, and at the end of it, she did that. She put her hand on my shoulder, but she just went, "That's on you." And then she just like walked out of the room. And I was like, yeah, it is. So then like the next day I went and I watched like Oppenheimer just to get something good in my system. But yeah, X-Men, not looking hot for them. In another small bit of X-Men news, Insomniac Games, the people who made Marvel's Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales, they have an exclusive deal with Marvel to use the X-Men for, like 12 years now. It doesn't end until 2035. So if you were a fan of Marvel Spider-Man, and an X-Men fan, you're going to be eating good. But if you were really tired of all of their ham-fisted everything, then buckle up. Oh, and their Wolverine game is race swapping Callisto. It makes Jean Grey look frumpy. It's not a good time to be an X fan right now. Let's put it that way.
It's not a good time to be a Marvel fan. Essentially, like the tower is collapsing and you're just right under. You're going, yeah.
It's just not a good time.
Let's just make it clear. All around the board, it is not a good time. So with that, let's see. Yeah, Tatu says, I do not have much hope for Marvel's Wolverine on Sony PlayStation. Dude, if anybody saw the leaks this week of that game, so recap. Activision got hit by Insomniac Games got hit by a giant ransomware attack, and the hacker group that got into their system essentially ransomed off a bunch of all of the data that they got. Some of it was paid for and didn't get released, but about 98% of it dropped onto the internet over the past 2 or 3 days. And in the leak, we've got a bevy of information ranging from their plans for a new Spider-Man game, a new Ratchet game, their financials from things like the last Ratchet game where they lost money, employee addresses and like personal information. It's a giant leak. But as part of it, we got not only like all the concept art and scripts and stuff for Wolverine, but also a gameplay trailer that is unreleased, or it's not ready to go yet, and a playable build that nobody's been able to access yet because you need a dev kit. But I bet by next week somebody will have cracked it. But to that end, if you saw the gameplay from Marvel's Wolverine, why like every superhero video game developer played Arkham Asylum and just stopped innovating there. Like Wolverine's got the same, instead of detective vision, he's got his senses and he can, sniff around and follow this path. And then he gets punched out of a window and there's a cinematic transition. And it's like Wolverine's Uncharted. And I know that's probably something that Josh likes, but to me, that's not a great video game. And then
that is low,
right? No, but hey, you're the one who likes Uncharted. I get any moment.
But look. Here's the problem that I have with all of the Insomniac games and the League as well. The problem is that we're not gonna get a different Spider-Man by a different company. We're not gonna get a different X-Men by a different company. We have to endure all of these games for like 15 years. And it's the same thing. It's like story over gameplay because they don't really care about innovating. And it's the same thing. It's like, this over emotional story or whatever. And I'm like, I don't really care all that much about the story. It's just like,
where's my web swinging? Give me good web swinging.
Right, so just kidnap the princess and let me save her. Just go from one stage to the next. I don't care about the story, about the very emotional bonding of the characters. Just no. I don't want to watch a movie. I want to play a game. Insomnia.
If you have that in a video game as like an extra thing, great. Like there are lots of video games whose stories I'm all about, like Metal Gear Solid, right? But if you don't have gameplay with it, there's nothing to sort of take you through it all or immerse you. You're just sitting there. Yeah, Josh, like you said, like you're just watching a movie. And I know a lot of people liked Marvel Spider-Man 2, but not only did that not really innovate, it was basically just like the copy paste of Spider-Man 1 in terms of like combat systems and traversal. And it's not like it feels lazy. The Marvel Spider-Man 2. If you play it, if you watch gameplay of it, and you have like if you've played the first one and you look at stuff for the second one, you can just sort of tell like this isn't as exciting, as passionate, as creative as the last one. And that's sort of what I get from Wolverine, where it's like like I said, we've seen the Arkham formula through every superhero game, even that really the really bad, or it wasn't bad, it was kind of decent, but the Captain America First Avenger tie-in game sort of used that mechanic too. Like it was all of them used the very like clunky, slow third person and then stop talk. It's just, can we do something else? Like, remember the old video, like the old superhero games had a bunch of different like gameplay styles. You had the Ultimate Alliance games where the X-Men teamed up in like a, what do you call that? Like a dungeon crawler 4-character, what the hell? Like Diablo, whatever you want to call that style. I've never been able to name that style of gameplay. Isometric.
Point and click.
Point and click, maybe. It's more the like.
No, do you need a DOS computer system to play this? Perhaps a Commodore 64.
I think you need, dude. You're gonna need a Dell. You're gonna get a Dell.
I didn't know Adele played video games. That's nice of her.
Isn't it? She has a new hobby now that she lost weight.
She lost the weight. I see.
But yeah, you had like you had the Ultimate Alliance games with that gameplay. You had the Spider-Man games, which were sort of linear platformers. You had Batman games, which were side scrollers. You had Superman, which was Superman, and then you had all different forms of fighting games. And now we have literally one type of superhero game. We don't even have the fighting games anymore. Marvel vs. Capcom is a dead thing, and Injustice hasn't been talked about because what do you call it? Who are they? NetherRealm care too much about their awful Mortal Kombat series.
So is just... look, here's the big gaping hole that they keep missing. Sony, Disney, and everybody else in between Marvel Comics with this. Miles is an excellent character to turn into like a multiverse police force kind of guy, right?
Right.
So you remember when Trunks joined the Time Patrol for the video games, the Dragon Ball video games?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So and we saw that in the Dragon Ball Superheroes miniseries that came out a couple of years ago that was just showed us the Time Patrol and how they did business. So now consider that rather than having Miles treading all over what Spider-Man does in Peter Parker's role and whatnot, right? So you have him, just kind of doing what Pete does already. So what you're saying is like you have you have a Miles Morales now that is doing what Link does when he like merges with a wall, because he's in a dimension now where it's like Chalk World. Remember Chalk World, the cartoon Chalk World?
Yep,
He's in a dimension now where everything's 2D. So he has to move around like this and stuff like that. In the video games, you have to solve puzzles and things like that. If you're going to have Miles Morales as the Spider-Verse character in popular culture, make him the Spider-Verse character in video games. Let people play out different game mechanics through the different worlds he travels through.
Yes.
In one game, he's playing a platformer. In another one, he's a first-person shooter.
That would be so fun.
Do the Saints Row thing with it, whereas you go through the game, reality progressively breaks more and more and more until you're playing chess with a giant alien. You know.
But here's the problem, Cider. This is Marvel and Insomniac we're talking about. That level of creativity just is no longer there. Like you talk about multiverses and all these different amazing things, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh, dude, like let Cider into a development room.
You could have him be like a Cuphead level, man.
No, you could have Cuphead levels. You could have like puzzle game levels. It could be all over the place. It would be great. But you know, I when I think about Marvel and multiverses and their creativity, I always go back to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and that scene where America punches. Yeah, exactly. Doctor Strange mom, where America punches like the portal by accident, or no, Strange like dives to save her from something, and she ends up opening a portal, and they like spiral through a bunch of different universes before landing in the one with the comedic scene of her mom's getting sucked into the space void.
Yeah,
during that thing, the space butthole, exactly. And it had, dude, seriously, that scene has like the most comedic timing of all time. I know
it's supposed to laugh at that.
How
that
are you not
space
supposed to laugh?
Swallowing those two women just like that.
It's so funny.
It feels like a robot chicken skit.
It does. Like I feel like I'm supposed to laugh, but now you're going to get mad at me if I laugh. I feel like I'm watching a movie. I feel like Doctor Strange mom is my girlfriend.
But then they immediately sweep the emotion you're supposed to feel about that out from underneath you when she just shows up with pizza balls and won't shut up about him for the rest of the movie.
Look, I know this is the second time we've mentioned Doctor Strange mom on this show tonight. I literally forgot that America Chavez was a character until like just now when you mentioned
You're
her.
welcome.
Like, that's how forgettable she's
been. I can't unsee her because she's so useless.
She's so pivotal to that movie, and I literally forgot she even existed until just now.
You know, because she doesn't do anything. She's pivotal, but she just stands there. She's just like their portal activator.
I got. Speaking of portal activators, we've got this doozy right here. There's a portal to irrelevancy headed for Aquaman.
Yes, guys, in case you haven't seen this, that's a perfect transition. So, if you haven't seen Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, is cooked. That's all I can really say about it.
Nobody's going to see it. Don't feel bad.
Nobody. So, yeah, let me attack the story. So, as far as the information, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, obviously the second Aquaman movie, the last chapter of the Snyderverse, dead in the water, pretty much. It is tracking for a lower opening than the Marvels, which opened at 46 million. Aquaman's tracking for only 40 domestically, and it doesn't get any better internationally because internationally, it's aiming at about the same number. Yeah, but it's aiming about 75, 80 general with the highest possible intake being 110, which even if we were super generous and we said, let's let Aquaman, let's use that in our analysis, that is awful. This movie, and I mean, it's no surprise why this movie is going to do bad. We've talked about it a million times here. One, Amber Heard, she's still in the movie. She's still there. She's around. She's in like the first trailer. Doesn't matter how small her role is. That's one of those things that's going to turn off like not only people like us who followed it all and know it all, but also just general normies who are like, oh yeah, I remember. I know about the Johnny Depp thing. She sucks.
I saw that trending.
Right, exactly. It's such a what do you want to call it? Like a cultural moment. Like here, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing. That there's no way her attachment to anything really.
The Black Pooh Bandit.
No, the single log cutter, keeping up the log cutting traditions of her forefathers who cut across this land. But
Guys,
so that's-
a bee stung her dog's foot. Okay, a bee.
Oh no, of course, that's what it was. And dude, I remember every time I think about that trial, I just am like, wow, like that's crazy. Like I can't believe we actually all got to see that. Yes, and DC3 says she also has a large part, according to some. The information right now regarding her specific like screen time is all over the place from people. It's
Yeah.
she's either barely in it or she's got a significant role, like presence but not role, if you know, like, you know what I mean, kind of like
Yeah,
America Chavez, like she's there but she's not doing anything. So who knows, the all we really do know is that she's there. Like Amber Heard is in this movie, and so that's a huge turnoff for a lot of people. And two, like James Gunn, like John said in one of his best headlines before he left, James Gunn killed this thing in its cradle with his announcement that nothing is like, you know, oh, we're resetting everything. You know, last year we're doing my whole Superman Legacy reboot. We're going to take everything on a new direction, and then saying, oh, maybe some of these movies could play into canon. Maybe they could come back. I don't really know. And then I think it was just last month or the month before, he came out and he straight up said, oh yeah, nothing is canon to our new DC plans until the Creature Commandos animated series. So that killed, not only did it kill Shazam, Blue Beetle, and The Flash, which, let's be real, that as soon as I said it killed it, I knew that was the wrong term. It hurt those movies, but I don't think that was like the main factor in
It
them
probably
failing.
like ran over his carcass a couple times, but I don't know if
Yeah,
it killed it, right?
yeah, exactly. That's exactly perfect. Yeah, it's got a few hits in there, but I'm not putting it on trial.
Mhm.
This is really late, and I'm sorry about that. It took me way too long to find this meme, but I
No.
made it. I like to play the what's trending on Twitter, and if we can make it into a meme game when I'm really bored. And I came up with this. So Starscream and Amber Heard is a liar was trending. It says, Lord Megapint, that traitorous slag has been spotted.
Is that Johnny in there under it?
Yeah, Johnny Depp underneath.
That's awesome.
Starscream's face, yeah.
Starscream, see,
Lord
Starscream would be on
Megapint.
Amber Heard's. He would be on Amber Heard's side. Let's be real, just so that he could use her to like get in contact with Elon
Poop
Musk
on
or
people's
something.
beds, yeah.
Yes,
That's what Megatron's plan is.
Send her to India.
You don't understand, Starscream. After all their beds have been shit on, they'll have no choice but to give us the Energon.
They'll have to give us the Energon to pay us to clean. It's a genius plan.
But we're not going to clean it, Starscream, because we're evil.
Evil. Do-do-do. And then he just has a mustache
right.
that grows out of nowhere and he starts twirling it.
You have the and Optimus is like, what's that smell?
What is that?
What's that smell?
Bumblebee,
Why is it
quick.
black? That person needs to go to the hospital.
Someone is
Sam-
very sick, Bumblebee.
Sam can no longer stay in the house.
Someone needs immediate medical attention.
Get
Ratchet, go find them. But so
Never
yeah,
seen
this
anything
is
like it, huh?
this is how the Snyderverse ends. Not with a bang, not with a crashing wave, but with a little guppy bubble. Like this is
Wait, I got one.
huh.
I have a whole soundboard of this. Hold on.
Brace,
Here we go.
brace.
Ready?
That's, I mean,
That's the one.
Amber Heard stars in Bubble
I
Guts.
thought it was going to be that wet one because you played it last week. I thought it was going to be that one. But no, that is the perfect summation of this movie. Who cares? Like, kind of, who cares about it? It, you know, you don't like. Somebody said it right here. DZ3 says, to me, Jason Momoa was an Aquaman. I didn't watch the first one. I'm definitely not watching the second one. I think the actor they cast as his brother is more like Aquaman than Momoa. So that to that point, it's sort of like a lot of people saw that first Aquaman movie. Obviously, it made $1 billion. It did huge, but it to me, it was sort of like Avatar, right? Like people came out of that theater, they said, "Oh, I really liked it," or "I enjoyed it." I
Don't know
never
why.
heard anything else about it. Well, I
Right.
don't know why, but also like I never heard anybody else, like nobody ever was like, "Hey, you want to come over? Want to watch Aquaman?" Or, "Oh, check it out, Aquaman's on TV. Let's check it out."
My
That never
kid
happened.
won't shut up about Aquaman. You didn't hear
There's-
that. You never
There was
heard
probably
that.
one kid, and his mom probably like locked him in a closet because she's like, "You're
Well, here-
lying. I know you're lying."
Look, I'm up in Maine, right? You know, and I'm like the wrong demographic to complain about representation, but like nobody interesting in the superhero world is from Maine. Nobody. It's just Aquaman. That's just it. That's just Aquaman. Even Wolverine was like, I don't bother there. I come across to St. Johnston, New York. I don't even come down through New England. So
Hey, if it
you
makes
know.
you feel better, up until like 20, maybe like 17, the only notable comic book thing that ever happened to San Diego, where I'm from, was in Infinite Crisis when Aquaman sunk it to keep it out
Okay.
of Darkseid's control.
See,
So that's all we had.
We share this in common. Aquaman's a dick. Yeah.
Damn,
So
dude, get Sean Baby in here? A new Aqua Dick series. That's what I want to. That's what I want to read.
Aqua dick,
But
aqua dick, something,
Does-
aqua dick.
does whatever a Aqua Dick can.
Probably leaks.
Demonetized.
Check it out. Aqua.
But then, yeah, so you have like to DZ's point, you had this movie do great, but nobody really came out of it going, "Oh, I want more of that. I'm super excited for Aquaman." And then one of the main motivating factors for this kind of movie, you know, Marvel, DC, even things like Transformers now, is, you know, one of the big motivating factors to go see these movies immediately rather than wait for them to come out on home video or something, is that interconnectedness of, I need to know what's going to come next. I want to be in these discussions. I want to know, you know, are we going to, oh crap, I can't believe Green Lantern showed up at the end of the movie. That's going to be crazy. But you don't have that here. In fact, spoiler alert, I don't know if anybody is really going to care. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to just hop off the stream real quick, and then you can hop right back on. I'm going to say it right now. But the post-credit scene for Aquaman, there is a single one. It is Patrick Wilson as Orm eating a hamburger, and he sees a cockroach like walk on the table, and he grabs the cockroach and he puts it on the burger and he eats it. Apparently, it's like a reference or like a callback to a joke from the movie, like some point in that movie. But that's sort of that's what you end on. That's the big thing you have everybody coming for. There's no interconnectedness, and then you know that he's not coming back.
I get it, but at the
James
same
Gunn is
time,
gonna
it's like you've already told people that this film doesn't matter. So what do you expect them to lead up to now? You might as well just end on that. Yeah, he's eating cockroaches now. This is what's all coming down to.
like screw it. This is where we're at, right?
Yep.
I also agree, DZ. I do think Patrick Wilson would have been a better Aquaman than Jason Momoa. I'm not a big Momoa fan. He's fun. I like him as Khal Drogo. I like him as Khal. There are other
Baywatch once, Aqua Bro.
Oh, that's right. He was. Forgot about that. But I think the bigger death sentence in all of this was the fact that after all of this, or not even after, but sort of in the midst of all this, Gunn and DC and Warner decided to push this to the very end of 2023. For what reason? Like, it's been done. We've known it's been done. It's had like pushbacks for years, ever since like COVID hit. But now you couldn't. Why didn't you release this in June? Why didn't you release this with The Flash or in May or something? Right? Because now you've had all these months of people going, this doesn't matter, and all of the negative press, and it's a December, and it's like, you know, it just seems like the dumbest move possible. It doesn't even feel like a move of somebody who wants to just throw it away, right? Like,
no, it's the problem, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here's what you're looking at, Spencer. Here's what you're looking at. They can't Batgirl it. They spent too much money on it. They've already advertised it. It can't get Batgirled, but it's that bad. It's that brand damaging that they can't put. So they put it out on Christmas when who the hell is going to the movie theater on Christmas?
Yeah,
so
who
put
takes
it out
their
on Christmas? Right.
It's
Jimmy,
like
we're going to the movie theater, you know.
Right.
They're all hopped up on sugar and Christmas cheer.
But then I also think it's such a bad move to do that, Cider, because like, yes, they get to have the excuse of like, oh, it's Christmas, blah, blah, blah. But then when you look at like that being on that specific of a date with that big of a 4-day like weekend window, Aquaman's now going to be brought up in every conversation for the rest of forever. Your failure is going to be like the barometric for Christmas like disaster.
Look at how quickly the Marvels have vanished from the lexicon. Same thing's going to happen to Aqua Bro because nobody's
True.
going to see it, so nobody's going to talk about it. Indiana Jones has completely vanished from people's memory because nobody saw it.
I was going to say, I don't know if it vanished from memory so much as it never entered it.
Well, let's put it that way then. But this is what's going to happen with Aqua Bro. So that's what they're planning on, and then they're going to be able to go to the tax guy and be like, well, we put it out and we lost 300 million on it. Oh well, you're not going to be able to tax us on that now, right? But Batgirl they had to eat because they deep six that they had to eat that.
Yeah.
So this is a loss they get to put out, and then nobody's going to see it, so nobody can complain about it. It'll be on DVD and streaming before anybody gets their teeth into it to review it.
Oh man, this thing is going to be on like, what is it, like a 4-week standard is like your minimum for theatrical releases. As soon as that's over, like January 30th, we're going to have this movie on DVD. There's no hope for this movie, and it's just sort of like what, like, this is all on Gunn. This is literally all on Gunn, because if Gunn, as much as we would have mocked and been angry, like I know I would have been angry if we'd have gotten through Flash, Blue Beetle, Shazam, and Aquaman and found out after that this is all toast, right? Like, oh yeah, none of it's connecting anymore. I would have been angry, but to the business end, they would have already had our money. They would have already gotten profit off of it. And there's just no strategy here. Like, I'm thankful for Saito's explanation because it's the only thing I can really hold on to here as feasible or logic in this situation.
They're just trying to dump it. That's what it is. They're just trying to dump it.
Yeah. It's just so insane that they're dumping it when there was ample opportunity to dump it in a more advantageous situation. That's what really gets me, is that you had months back there that you could have dropped it. You could have even dropped it before Barbie and maybe even gotten some marketing of like, here's eye candy for men and here's eye candy for women, right? And it's both of your movies.
Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember the rumor about the movie that people walked out of the theater of the test screenings because a spoiler character actually dies in the movie? And I'm like,
yes.
If they keep that in the movie, in spite of the whole thing, because apparently it drives the whole the plot of the movie
conflict, yeah,
but the whole thing, and you can't really remove it, and people didn't already like that. So I'm thinking like word of mouth, right? After the few people that are going to watch the movie, they're going to complain about this, and it's like, oh, this is not a movie for children. So parents don't take your kids to the Christmas movie this year.
Yeah, don't go to the Christmas movie again. Spoiler, jump off for like 2 seconds if you don't want to hear it and come back. Yada yada yada. Here we go. The spoiler is that near the beginning of the movie, Black Manta, when he's launching his attack, like his revenge on Aquaman, gets to Aquaman's house and straight up skewers his kid, just stabs him and kills him, right? That's your Christmas movie? That's what, again, that's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna have a bunch of kids.
Yeah, those kids.
Just like, wow. Poor Timmy's gonna have a really weird Christmas to deal with.
I apologize for the French, but it's just the first meme I could think of was that Michael Jordan meme of F those kids.
Yeah, right? Just F those kids. Marinas asks, but does that make Aquaman 2 a Christmas movie? That's a good. When does it take place? That to me is what makes it a Christmas movie.
Well, hold on. Seth Black, right? That's the guy that makes everything in Christmas movie.
Yes.
Black, yeah, director. Yeah, he's not involved, so I don't think it's going to be a Christmas movie. It could be one of those stealth Die Hard ones, though, right? Like there's a bunch of Christmas stuff in the background.
Like
Jason Momoa is like,
yeah,
he's like walking through like a Christmas display in Walmart. Then yeah, I guess it could be like a Christmas movie, but you know,
that's what happens in Iron Man 3, isn't it? Doesn't that happen during the holidays, right? When he crash lands in that town, it's during the holidays.
Iron Man 3, how Tony got his groove back.
I still love that they had that kid in that movie, and he's made no other his kid sidekick is in that movie, and he's made no other appearances outside of his funeral. And
you had to make room for Ironheart.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is, Josh. Can't have a white male successor. We gotta have our Ironheart. We gotta have our Riri Williams. We gotta give Iron Man armors to every single what are they called? The Dora Milaje or whatever. Well, essentially, you saw Wakanda. I'm pretty sure you saw Wakanda. At the end, all of the female guards get their own Iron Man suits, and it's just like, you get an Iron Man suit, you get an Iron Man suit, you get an Iron Man suit. what are we even doing? Like now we're in Gundam rather than Marvel.
And see, this is the big mistake that they made with Tony in particular, is that when and I'll never forgive Iron Man 3 how Tony got his groove back for this. It's because of the extremist situation where he had all those different suits made. Yeah, it looks really cute in a cartoon, sells action figures, blah blah blah. The problem with that is that it's world breaking.
It is.
Because that means that the power of an Iron Man suit can be stamped out in a year or less, because Tony didn't spend, he said he's been an insomniac making his way to Mark 45. Okay. So he was able to make 30 suits anyway in just a couple of years, along with the Iron Legion, by the way, right? The ones that started the Ultron problem. So the whole point of Armor Wars.
And Ultron.
Did anybody remember Armor Wars?
Ultron.
Right. Did anybody remember Armor Wars, the comic series?
I remember the comic, yeah.
Yeah. So Armor Wars was all about the secret of the Iron Man armor getting out and Tony having to defeat people and like forcibly take that technology back from them. And nope. Tony's just like, I leave it all over the place. It's hit by a truck and skewer it all over the highway.
Yeah, right? Like everybody can just pick it up.
I crash it in a field in Tennessee. I'm just going to leave it while I wander drunkenly into town barefoot. It's just, I'll never forgive that movie. It broke my heart.
That's what I've always thought about their desire to make an Armor Wars movie series, whatever the hell it is. It's like, okay, but everybody has like their own Iron Man suit now. Like this is you're far beyond like proprietary technology. This is stuff that's just like you patent it. It's out there. Everybody's using the military. The U.S. military has the War Machine armor. Like they've had it. They've made modifications to it. Yeah, because they made it the Patriot. Like that stuff doesn't work. So all I can imagine for an Armor Wars movie is just big punch between suits. Who cares? Rhodey's a squirrel now. Who even really cares about?
I don't know what they could do for an Iron Man movie anymore. I really don't. They broke the world by giving him 45 freaking suits.
I know. Directed by Uwe Boll. Bam.
Okay.
$200
all right.
Let's do it.
Honestly, that would probably do it. Oh man, what is that? The House of the Dead movie he did? That's one of those movies where I'm just like, this is like Kino trash. Like this is like this is so bad.
How about this?
Incredible.
Get the guy that did Godzilla -1 on it.
Dude, just let the Japanese have at all of our properties. Like at this point, we can't use them, right? And we can't use theirs, right? But every time they get their hands on one,
I would love to see Japan turn like Euphoria into an anime. That's just a
hentai 18 plus, completely blocked.
Oh god, yeah.
As long as Zendaya's not in it, maybe we'll be interested.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget like that's what made her like popular, because I never watch it because I don't care about that trash.
Yeah, it wasn't even like Spider-Man really. It was that stupid HBO show that they put on there. It's like I don't know.
Is that over yet? I really don't even know.
No, it's on hiatus now, but they're gonna bring it back in a couple.
But speaking of the Japanese fixing everything, I remembered that we talked about this.
Yes, we did. So, guys, this is our next story of the night. It is pretty awesome. Earlier this week, the creator of Mobile Suit Gundam himself, Yoshiyuki Tomino, he gave an interview to a Japanese news outlet. I can't remember the name. It's a big, long Japanese word. It's somewhere in the article. But essentially, he was giving an interview on the current state of the industry. And let's see. I will grab it on my end, too, so I don't have to make cite or scroll. And I will read to you exactly what our man has said. So basically, he's giving this interview, and it's about the current state of the industry, how successful it is, what its future holds, yada 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 yada. And so, while speaking to this outlet, yeah, the headline works just because it's all quotes, and I don't want to bore everybody with just looking at words. So,
okay, I've had it.
So, yeah, right. So basically, Tomino's giving this interview, and they start discussing what is going on in the just tell me your thoughts on everything that's going on. And so Tomino basically said, quote, so he admitted that where is it? Quote, the anime industry is certainly in a period of prosperity. However, it is unclear whether the situation will continue in the future. The excitement may continue for another 5 or 6 years, but that will be it, and it will fade away. The same is true for novels and movies, but there are always ups and downs that occur with the changing times. Works are meant to be enjoyed by people with hearts. So if the world environment changes, the face of culture will change, and people's hearts will also change. So if we reach the peak now, we will reach a dead end from now on. And then he continues and he says, while animes themselves will not disappear, it's difficult to say whether there will ever be a better like working environment than we have now. And to this point, his entire point is, so what he says is that after the switch from hand-drawn animation to digital, Disney's works were all disappointing. And he said like that, and he kind of lamented like that, this animation will continue. So and then he also kind of revealed that the people who earn the most money from all of this, like from all of anime, are not the studios, not the production companies, not the actors or the investors or any of that. It's actually places like Hulu or Crunchyroll or whatever services they have in Japan, because they get the subscriber money and they keep like 80% of it. So when he revealed that, his guest basically pushed back and said, well, wouldn't it be, so Tomino said, that's how it is in the industry. It can't change. Like, I know it's science fiction. It can't change. That's just how it is. And the interviewer pushed back and said, well, wouldn't that be a good idea if it can change? And this is where Tomino delivered the crux of his argument. Quote, I would venture to say, or I dare say that it would be a good idea, or blah, blah, blah. Oh, no. I am like all over the place. So here's what Tomino said in reply. Quote, I would venture to say that those who are in a position to do the creative work could do without it, as in without the, luxury pay and the luxury working environments and all the, kind of like when you think of like a tech company or a Disney animation studio where it's all open space and everything's nice and they've got a bunch of food and everything's stocked and people, delivering Grubhub for everybody, whatever. Like that's what he's sort of pushing against that very sanitized environment. So he continues and he starts talking about his own experiences, saying, quote, it has been a year since my workplace was moved to this new building in Ogikubo as part of the organizational integration of the Bandai Namco group. But I don't think it is a good environment for creating new works. This fine building is all digitized and over air conditioned. Same thing with the boring work produced by Disney's digital production system today. People who create must have a crazy side, a sense of spirituality, earthiness, indiness. If you can create an indigenous work of art in a space with complete control of the air conditioning, I think you should make it. And when he says indigenous, he means that like not
like in the way that your college campus liberal uses.
Right. like actually like it's a work you're making there and bringing it. That was perfect, Jacob. He continued, when I look back at Machiko Hasegawa's Saze-san, I can smell that it must have been drawn in a workroom where a drafty wind was blowing when manga first started appearing in post-war life. I think it would be more dangerous to lose that smell. The most quote, and then he started wrapping up and he said, the most important thing for producers is to give artists a place where they can make the most of their talents. It's not as simple as just spending money and offering a floor of a high-rise building as a workplace. It would be presumptuous to think that a creative officer who does not know the practicalities of production can manage the creative process. So it is not surprising that the producer is also a creative person, end quote. So that's all of what he said. Now, if you had a little bit of trouble following along, because obviously I lost my spot a couple times, basically what Tomino is saying is that everything Disney's putting out now is completely sterile. There's no soul to it, essentially, right? Because they're so focused on, keeping up with technology and making everything just so tip top and perfect, that which they obviously fail to do a lot. But to Tomino, what really drives creativity and creation and stuff is sort of, struggle and I kind of agree with him. I don't think you need to be like living in a hoveling hut to be a great creator, but I definitely think if you are like Disney and you're looking at things from a managerial position or a bean counter position or a diversity, equity, inclusion perspective, all of this stuff it's not working. Right. No. So go Cider. Yeah.
But what did Jacob have to say?
No, I was just agreeing with what he said.
He was just agreeing. Yeah.
No. So the what you have is corporations don't want to make risk. They don't want to do risk anymore.
Oh, 100%.
So if you don't know, you've heard of BlackRock, not Blackstone, BlackRock. Those are the guys that own everything, basically. They're led by a man named Larry Fink, and in the late 80s, he developed a probability calculation computer. Very simple program, but it brought in data from millions of sources when the internet was just getting going. So it was just raw ones and zeros. The machine is called Aladdin. The machine is called Aladdin, and Aladdin's purpose is to take in information from insurance companies, stock companies, weather channels, all sorts of things, and to give you a probability on the success of any investment, large or small. Now, BlackRock sells access to a very watered down version of Aladdin, but Aladdin drives their investments. And so when Aladdin gets a
I didn't know it was public. That's news.
Yeah, you can get a watered down version.
Yeah, I didn't know, but yeah.
So what Aladdin does for them is they go in and they type in Ripperverse and Eric July, and Aladdin goes in and weighs all of these things that it knows about it, and it says, this is not a good investment for what your goals are, because you told it what your goal is, right?
For your DEI goals, yeah.
You know? And so it says, no, this is not going to accomplish the goal of getting people to chop their penises off. Do not invest in the Ripperverse, right? Meanwhile, out here in indie world, we love this stuff. We're happy to see it. We're excited. We see the passion like blazing out of Eric July every time he talks about this stuff. The paint's peeling off the walls. You can feel the energy coming out of him. So, and they can't deal with that because that's not a calculation they can make. They want to make
make easy profit off of it. Yeah.
Right. They want to make a Barbie movie on a property that's been around 70 years or more. And they don't want to like do a Barbie movie. They want to do a political agenda driven Barbie.
Because like for some reason, and we've talked about this a lot, just, not just here, but in all of our different avenues, like you over on the Dank and Jacob over on his show and like me on mine. It's this new sense of like ironic detachment that everybody has where you're not allowed to show passion for anything, or else it's like, haha, look at that dork. He actually likes, Spider-Man. What a loser. And we saw this groundwork laid in the late 2000s, right? Like before that, being a nerd was not cool. You got made fun of. Everybody thought you were weird, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to like 2006, 7, haha, teehee, I'm such a nerd. That became super like popular, right? Big Bang Theory, a bunch of the MySpace crew, like that. So at that point, like it became a fashion statement, but it's still not. It still wasn't cool to actually like it. Cool that you're wearing a Pikachu shirt. That's so cute. Oh, you actually know what move it learns at like level 36? Could you like get away from me, please? I'm calling the police. Like that's how it always was, and that's how it is today. And I don't think like we have so many good passion projects. Again, Eric July was there. So many different Comicsgate creators, so many different just other indie creators, the iconic comics guys, everybody all over the place has all this passion radiating into their projects. But because it's not, like Cider said, the risk is not acceptable or whatever, this won't sell 1 million copies or whatever. They don't want to do it. And that's another problem, is that the goals for success are way too damn high nowadays because everybody's obsessed with making that line on the stock market go up. I meant to bring this up earlier, but that Insomniac Spider-Man 2 cost like $320 million to make. It cost more than No Way Home, the actual live action film. That's insane.
Men risked their lives performing stunts for that movie, and a video game costs more to produce.
Costs more to make, and it's. I don't really have an end cap to it, but just that, like, support your passion projects.
No, here's a good end cap right here.
You do get. Let's see. What do we got? We got Leslie. All the great mangaka, like US comic writers, knew struggle in their lives. They understood it, rose above it, and wrote believable characters who struggle and rise above it too. And I think that's actually really perfect, Leslie, because a lot of the creators we see nowadays, especially like Tomino said at Disney, like the big companies, they don't have that same level of passion for things. They don't care about all these things. Where was Leslie's comment? I wanted to bring it up again really quick. But they're all for lack of a better term, very privileged, sheltered kids. They're all kids of like executives or Hollywood people, and they all get in there and they're just handed this stuff, like the Cowboy Bebop live action writer. And because their struggles essentially amounted to somebody was making fun of me on Facebook.
They got my name wrong at Starbucks.
Right, exactly. Because of that, they don't have any real struggles. Everything that they can pull from and relate to is internal. So all of their stories, and this brings it way back to our good friend Glenn O'Leary. It's just what Glenn was talking about when in the Comic Palace episode that Mark Waid and Mark Millar and everybody got into over last week. Right. That, these writers only know how to write themselves. They don't know how to write Captain America. They write, what if I was Captain America? Like, what would Captain America do if I was Captain America? And it's like, that's not how you should write it. But because all these kids are super sheltered and don't know struggle, like Leslie and Cider pointed out, all we get are these very, very boring, very clean stories because there's nothing there. They can't imagine a conflict that's not super safe and sanitary. Like Wish is just the saddest thing ever.
Oh wait, it's much sadder.
Oh man, okay. Before we get into this, I'm gonna go through the chat real quick because I know we've had a lot of chats coming in, and I want to address everybody. But this is definitely the saddest part of our show. But before we get to that, I'm going to say hello to Tatsu, who brought up Sweet Baby Ink is cancer. So it's a really good point, Tatsu. If you didn't know, and it actually applies to this game, there's a notorious company right now that is making the rounds called Sweet Baby Ink. Now, what this company is it is an external sort of sensitivity reader company. A lot of companies have their own internal systems where, send it over to HR and let them read it over for sensitivity and DEI and everything. Sometimes companies aren't big enough to have that, so they will license out to other studios or other companies to have them perform that service. Now, the Sweet Baby Ink is just one of many, but they are the most prominent because they're out there sort of promoting themselves, throwing their tag in front of trailers, just all that stuff. And unfortunately, so yeah, they're sensitivity readers, DEI readers, all that stuff. They definitely had a hand in this next story that we're going to get to, Tatsu. They are definitely a part of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but they were also part of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which is why Tatsu brought that up in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. Oh, and Alan Wake too. That's what I think I saw some of you guys discussing that in the chat. Yeah, they had like script writing credits and stuff for Alan Wake 2 here. I can pull up their website because I look at it all the time.
These are the guys going around ruining everything.
Whoops. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This is absolutely the guys. It's one of the bigger outlets. They're not the only people because there are lots of different companies that do this, but they are probably the biggest, most public one. Now let's see.
Come on, man.
Bump, bump, bump. Allow. Let's check out Sweet Baby. So this is their website. It's got a bunch of it's whatever. But down here you can see they list all their projects. So here in Alan Wake, they worked on character arcs, voice work, and sensitivity reading. Right? For God of War Ragnarok, they did narrative and character consultation with a focus on representation. Marvel Spider-Man 2, story consultation. Suicide Squad, script writing, banter, cutscenes, barks, audio logs, etc.
Banter, they call it.
Banter, which is just MCU talk. Like that's literally all it is.
Yeah. Not a funny, not a single funny line in the game. I can assure you.
Oh, I can absolutely guarantee you there's not one genuinely funny moment in that game. And then I don't know if anybody here has played Contraband. It's a pretty popular game. I've played it like a couple times, but they've also their sensitivity reading, character bios, and script writing. So this is where we're at. Sweet Baby is again, they're not the only ones, but they're the most public ones. So definitely keep an eye out whenever a new production comes out, because if they're attached, and again, these guys love bragging about their attachment. They're not just a simple thing in the end credits, right? Like all the audio mixers. They are front and center when the credit logos play in the beginning of the game. They will let you know they're there. And it's sort of a stamp to say, stay the heck away from it very, very far.
We licked this.
We did, right? Tatsu also says, hey, Spencer, what do you think about Henry Cavill's 40K show on Amazon? So I'll put it to everybody too, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I really, really don't know what they're gonna do. So Amazon, like I don't have a lot of hope for their Fallout 70, like their Fallout series, because to me, it that trailer, while it's pretty and obviously it has a lot of like comment or like game accurate stuff, it's sort of like it feels like Fallout made by somebody who liked the concept and the culture around like Fallout 3 and 4 rather than fans of the actual property and game itself. And so that makes me worried on one hand, because that's sort of what Amazon and a lot of other adaptation studios do, but you've got Cavill on it. So Cavill, to me, if they actually listen to him and they don't throw him under the bus like the Netflix Witcher writers did, he could be that really strong guiding hand to say, absolutely not. No female space marines, no none of this. But he like it, since I don't know what their power structure is back there, it's sort of wait and see. You know what I mean? But and again, like the thing that always gets me with adaptations when they look really good and you go, ooh, look, power armor, ooh, look, jumpsuits. The Halo series looked incredible. It had fantastic production values. The Spartan armors looked accurate. The guns looked accurate. They all had the sounds, the Jeeps. And that show is one of the biggest steaming piles of crap I have ever watched in my entire life. Not just as a Halo fan, but even just as like a story. Like it's just bad.
A lot of incest in there.
Lot of. Well, there was also that weird scene where there's like the human Covenant member and she sleeps with Master Chief, and while they're getting down, Cortana decides to like pop up and watch them, and she's all sad, and it's like, what are we doing here? Like I don't understand. Like what is this show?
Yeah, they're going to tell you that like digital lady boners are going to lead to the quantum singularity of AI rising up against meat space, you know?
Dude, no,
horrible.
I see now, like as soon as you started saying all that, I was like, oh, I know what they're going to do. They're going to make it so after they slept together, now the chief is pregnant with some sort of alien infestation thing. And that's how they're going to go about this plot line, right? Like the MPreg plot line, like they're all doing.
They will definitely do that, yes. Yep.
But yeah, Tatsu, it could be good. It could be all right. Wait, I guess it's wait and see. I want to hear from Cavill. Like I want to hear him just give interviews and talk about his role behind the scenes, because all we've gotten so far is like press from Amazon, and they can just say whatever the hell they want. Dungeon Master Blaster says, I have Ultimate Alliance 1 and they're super fun. They're on PlayStation 2. Those games are incredible. The Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, they're just like the X-Men Legends I was talking about, where they're the isometric over the top dungeon crawling type things. If you haven't yet, and I think Josh might have been recommending it to you, there's a game called Marvel, or why am I saying the full title? The third game in the series, Ultimate Alliance 3. It came out on Switch. That is probably the best Marvel experience you are going to get ever. Like it's got all the characters, they're all true to form. They've all got great personality. This is how I know this game rules. So in the very beginning of the game, you're Spider-Man, and one of the first missions is to take your team, who I think is like Wolverine, Daredevil, and maybe like Luke Cage or something. You got to go into the raft, and people are under mind control, like the enemies and the prisoners, yada yada. Eventually, you get to the end of the stage, and the boss fight is a 3-way boss fight between Miles, Kamala, and Spider-Gwen. And their dialogue when they show up, you know, they're possessed. They're definitely speaking like how Marvel writes them. You know, we're the best. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are old and frumpy. You really think you have a chance against us? You whoop them. Really, like it's a pretty easy fight. But when you whoop them, they get thrown into like the sort of like the cell that Doctor Strange had for people in No Way Home. They get thrown into individual ones for themselves, and they all sort of kind of like admit like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have been here. Like this was bad. Like, yeah, you totally whooped me. I don't know what I was saying. Like they're not acting like the bestest ever. They're acting like
they were humble, like real quick in the game.
They were acting like actual characters would, right? Like actual people would. So that moment right there, I was like, this is going to be a fantastic game. And then they had like DLC expansions for the X-Men and like the Midnight Suns and the Fantastic Four. So you can get pretty much anyone. You can play as Elsa Bloodstone in that game. It's crazy, but I definitely recommend it. What were you going to say, Josh? I heard you shifting. Okay.
Yeah. No, I forgot.
Ready for the Suicide Squad?
Almost. Tatsu-sama says Mortal Kombat 1 was disappointing. Honestly, everything since 9 has been kind of disappointing. It's very tired. It's very boring. It
The
feels
people
like
who work
Mortal
at
Kombat for your
NetherRealm,
dad.
the people who work at NetherRealm now look like the same people who work at like Deadspin or some like really hacky
Right.
like website. Like, yeah,
And,
it's all
and that's why
downhill.
let's put it this way. The plot of MK1 was essentially Liu Kang, now a god, is able to he's got to recreate the universe, and he has the power to sort of change things as he wants. All he really does with that is change Raiden's race to Asian and make Melina a lesbian. Like, it's so weird. Like, that's the level of writing we're getting out of these companies nowadays. Let's see. I saw another one. OG MSG is such a great series. I found it on subs with subs on YouTube. Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam, the original, is great. Crunchyroll, if you guys use that site, they have I think they have pretty much all of it. So if you're looking for some Gundam after this to give Tamino some love, go check them out there.
Well, hold on. There's
yeah.
The actual YouTube channel, Gundam Info.
Oh yeah, duh.
Is where you can watch a lot of it that has subtitles, and some of it's dubbed as well. But that channel on YouTube is free. You can go there and watch Gundam right now.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't believe I was just going to like walk over that without talking about YouTube, where Leslie said she was watching it. Kate says, yes to this title. She's talking about the Tamino title. Someone needs to make 2D animation great again. It's not nearly as complex as 3D and could probably be made at a reasonable budget. I agree. I 100% agree. Every time you see, we went over, this is, so Josh, I know you saw this because you were on part of the stream, but Dragon Ball Super Broly is probably the best example of this disconnect in CG and hand-drawn animation, because in the very final fight, and I don't know if you've seen it, Kate, you can, if you really care about seeing the example, you can go on YouTube and find it. Just type in like Broly suit, like final fight. But in that fight, you have an insane, like, most of the fight between Broly and Goku or Gogeta is hand-drawn. So you've got a lot of like smear frames and a lot of like, you know, emotion and expression in it. Then there's a moment midway through the fight where out of nowhere, Broly and Gogeta break into another dimension. Like, their punches connect and it shatters like reality, and they're in this other dimension and they start fighting. The problem is, in that other dimension, they're very clearly 3D models, and you can see things like, you know, fabric clipping into each other. You know, when there are folds on Goku's pants, but when the model goes like that, the folds don't go with it. They just, you know, go into each other. It's awkward things like that. Weird lighting, weird shading, and then they eventually return to 2D. And if you're somebody who, I'm presuming like you, Leslie, or Kate, who likes animation, you notice it right away, because you're just like, what the hell was that? We went from an amazing like choreographed scene of Broly like tossing around Gogeta to some weird CGI punch fest for nothing.
Is the animation equivalent of like a reshoot? It's just they didn't have time to incorporate this. Just do it in CG, whatever.
they just threw a really bad blonde wig on Broly and said, "Go, Kate Mara." But that was a Fantastic Four joke.
No, you meant to say fan four stick.
Fan four stick. I did mean to say fan four stick. But you can tell, like, these are the models right here that Cider's looking at. They're just they're models. And I think, to Tamino's point, like, when I'm watching the fight before this moment, I feel immersed. I'm like, I feel the emotion coming through the animators. I see how they're, you know, their brain trying to translate human like understanding to entertainment and visuals. But when I see a model like this, it just sort of feels,
oh, that looks
stale.
So bad.
Right? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Bad. That's right out of Budokai, dude.
Right?
Right out of Budokai.
Thank you. I wasn't going to go that deep, but yeah, when I was watching, I was like, this is just a Tenkaichi game. This is really weird. Yeah. Like, did you just take the models from that?
Look, it looks like the first Budokai game when they were bragging about that cell shading thing.
It's 100% what it is. And you can tell it's just not great. And they obviously cover it up with a lot of effects, but it doesn't cover it up enough.
Well, that's why they went into this 3D world, is because the models don't look natural to the hand-drawn background.
So maybe this way they will. But then, yeah, like, it just, 3D models to me, because they don't feel like they have human emotion behind it. They might, sometimes they do, but 3D models like this just feel like you told somebody to, hey, take him over here and move him over here. And because you have the model, it's all, everything is sort of done for you already. I don't know. It's rough. And as Cider is showing, it just does never results in like great results. Like right here, he looks super Budokai.
Yep. And they were back to the 3D model again. We've done this is hand drawn right here, as you can tell.
Yeah.
It's like a storyboard drawing almost. You see? Almost like a storyboard drawing. And then he transforms into the 3D model. This is the 3D model you're looking at. This really reeks of Gundam Unicorn.
And somebody at the production company kind of went like, these 3D models look great. Let's make the next movie like this, just like this.
And then they did.
And then they did. And you can. Point. It's a little better because they stylized it a little more in Superhero, but you can still tell, and it's still off-putting. You're just like,
it looks like a PS2 game, dude. At any minute, I expect a quick time event to break out in the middle of that movie.
I gotta save pan, push X, push square. Yeah, Kate says, I think I've seen this clip before. Yeah, it looks bizarre.
Yeah.
There's also this moment that I always point to because it's so baffling to me. They're in Ralph Breaks the Internet at the very end. There's all those like Ralph clones, and they're like climbing up, and they make like the giant Ralph, evil Ralph, and evil Ralph grabs regular Ralph and Penelope, and like there's a point where they're like in his fist and they're talking, but because of the nature of like the multi Ralph being, all the Ralphs are constantly like moving because they like make up his body, but as they're moving, they're not moving per se, they're just clipping into each other and having their animation cycle repeat. And it's super, if you know what you're looking for, you're just like, or not even know what you're looking for, but if you have any eye for that kind of stuff, you'll see it and you'll just be like, what is happening here? Why did we do this?
This was a bad idea.
I know, right? Just why did we do this? Yeah. Oh, hey, look at that. It's the lovely Sherry. Hey, Sherry, very rare to see you. Nice to see you, though. Always great. And then, Kate said she's seen the clip before. But all that is to say that I don't know what that was all to say, but now we're going to talk about Suicide Squad. We're going to go back to the sweet baby topic, and we're going to talk about this upcoming game. So if you guys haven't, if you don't know what this is, so this game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, is an upcoming, oh gosh, I hate that I have to say, like, describe it like this, upcoming multiplayer looter shooter with a gear system based in the Arkham universe of video games. So this is not just set in there, this is actually the direct sequel to Arkham Knight. So you go Arkham Asylum, Origins, or no, Arkham Asylum, City, Origins, Knights, and then Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Obviously, as the title implies, you play as the Suicide Squad. Only 4 of them. You only get to choose 4, which is Harley Quinn, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, and Black Deadshot. And it's really stupid, guys. If you go look at gameplay, the whole thing is like kind of like in Arkham where, oh, you can traverse the city, you can go wherever you want. But they all are sort of presented with like, they have a different travel mechanic. You know, Harley has a bat grapple gun that she can hang on a glider with, and then Captain Boomerang has like a teleport Speed Force gauntlet, but they all act the same. It's just different like flavors of the same animation, of the same gameplay. It's really, really bad. But as the name implies, you play as the Squad, and in the wake of an invasion of Metropolis by Brainiac, all of the Justice League save Wonder Woman have been taken over, and it comes down to the Squad for some reason to take back Metropolis. Yeah, I know, right? She at least looks good. She at least looks like a good character. I like her design. in utero, right? That Nirvana was trying to tell us this years ago. But obviously, as part of the story, the Justice League, as I mentioned, they get scrambled by Brainiac. If you go watch the trailers, you can see lots of moments where like the Flash is taunting the Suicide Squad. There's a really good moment where John Stewart, Green Lantern, sort of, traps them and like brings them up to talk to them. But now let's put it this way. So Kill the Justice League. When you see that title and this is comic books, do you automatically assume that it literally means kill the Justice League? like when you read that, do you come across or like do you come away saying they're definitely gonna die? Anybody? Like you guys?
I mean, you would think so, right?
Well, no, not in comics. No, they do
Right.
exaggerated titles like Superman King of Earth is one of the ones that
Right.
got me as a kid. I was so infuriated by that.
Like it's
in the
nothing.
story.
It's
Nothing in
nothing.
the story had anything to do with that even. So, but yeah, no, I did not. I did not expect this to be like literally Saints Row,
Right.
the Justice League. Yeah.
So like to me, that sort of title is that's their objective, right? That's you pull them in like they did Little Cider, but then you sort of flip it, eventually along the lines, you got to save the Justice League because they're the Justice League. Like those are your main characters. Those are
like
your
they
big
kill the
get-
Justice League, but they're robot clones.
They're right.
Metallo clones.
Something like that, right? So unfortunately, that is not what is in store for this game's version of Batman. Now, this leak happened a couple days ago. I didn't include any of the footage in there because the lawyers for Warner Brothers are like all over the place. Like they are just on every single thing. But essentially, we got two pretty big spoilers for this upcoming game. Again, if you want to play it, fine, but jump off in the next 5, 4, 3, 2. I don't even want to finish the countdown. But basically,
everyone dies.
Well, actually, everybody comes back. Well, there's one death, one revival. So if you guys played Arkham Knight, you will remember that at the very end of the game, Jason Todd detonates a giant thing of Scarecrow fear gas, and it poisons Gotham, and it, everybody's freaking out. But Poison Ivy, hoping to redeem herself, sort of makes like a giant plant and starts like taking it all into her and purifying the air. But doing so ends in her death. So at the end of Arkham Knight, she crumbles to dust in Batman's hands, and then there's like a tiny little leaf growing like on that spot when you return to it later on. In the leaks, we saw that means Poison Ivy is returning, which okay, fine, but to me it's weird because they're doing the Baby Groot thing, like literally copying the Baby Groot thing, because the version in this game is a kid, like a 5-year-old Poison Ivy, and to me
that's not terrifying. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna give her adult memories and adult behavior. They're gonna port Poison
just like the
exact ideas and behavior.
Just like there is that Batman villain who's like the doll, or like the kid who can never grow up.
The little girl, the permanent little girl.
Yeah, the permanent little girl. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, and that's what they'll do.
Absolutely. So that's a minor spoiler. That to me just kind of sucked as a fan of the Arkham City, because it's like, come on, you did that sacrifice, and now you
had a redemption arc.
Undo it, right? Exactly, and you're just gonna undo it for cheap recognition. Like I know that's why they're doing it, just for cheap brand recognition. But here's the main spoiler that we're going to talk about tonight. So this was released in the form of an audio clip and a single screenshot. The screenshot, like it was overlaid with the audio clip. The screenshot shows the Suicide Squad holding our good friend Batman, as voiced by Kevin Conroy, in his last performance in his iconic role at gunpoint. And so basically, since it's like a lot of like dialogue exchange, I don't need to go for it verbatim, but essentially Batman is captured by the Suicide Squad, and he does he tries to taunt them. They have some really bad banter. Where is it? There's a moment where Batman tries to like get in their heads, and he says, quote, "You think you're a team now? You're herd animals dependent on someone else." Or, "You think you're a team now? You're herd animals dependent on someone else to survive. Like you, Harkness, a desperate alcoholic who's desperate for the spotlight." And then Harley cuts him off and goes like, yeah. And Floyd's a deadbeat dad. Sharky's a freak who will never be a real boy. And I'm, what was it? Oh yeah, never was too bright. Get some new material, jerk off. Like that's the level of banter we're getting in this game.
They've really killed Harley Quinn, haven't they? Like,
dude, Harley Quinn's character is it's bad.
It used to be a name you were somewhat interested in, and now they've run this thing so far into the ground. It's like every time you just hear the name, you just cringe.
Well, like Harley used to be this sort of like, I don't know. She used to be, a villain and like an abused woman, and just sort of like this, I don't know, just like a character. But now
she used to be like a psycho, like abused victim, and now they've tried to make her like her own woman, and it's just like,
well, she's like a girl boss now. Yeah, like all of a sudden she's on the Justice League. She's hanging out with all the heroes, and it's like, dude, you're a murderer. You're like a mass murderer. I don't know. And again,
there used to be a time that you felt sorry for her as a character because there was a point where she would rather die than admit that the Joker was like using her and abusing her the entire time. And it's like, wow, it's kind of sad to watch a girl like that deceived and that insane. And now they've taken all that sympathy away and turned her into Margot Robbie ripoff thing character.
I mean, we see that a lot where like these companies will change their comic characters or game characters to match like the MCU or the DCU. But I think Harley is probably one of the worst ones. Like we don't even get her Jester costume anymore. Now it's just that dumb red and blue like bun hairstyle that Margot had, right? Like it's all that the Suicide Squad has had what is it, like unimaginable consequences for humanity.
Oh yeah.
Well, it also was the introduction of the daddy issues Harley.
Was that was it that squad? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've been able to like if you've dated girls like this, but I have, and I've dated a few Harleys in the past where they're just so like damaged by the absence or presence of their father that they've become sort of permanently 13 years old. And so it's this cutesy girl that's very honest and very blunt with her speech, and she's confrontational, and that's fun and exciting for a little while. And then she gets drunk and wants to fight.
Oh, yes, I was gonna say, but what about when the booze comes? Yeah, because that's exactly what happened.
And that's what Harley's become. Is she's just become this weird daddy issues drunk girl that wants to fight anybody who's there. They don't just have a rhyme or reason anymore.
Well, like she's there.
In the cartoon, she was just a crazy killer.
She was just
now she's
like
they've tried to rationalize her.
Like she's an icon now. She slays queen. Yes, like that's. I don't know. I don't know why all of these like people, like all these neoliberal like causes, they always pick like the worst characters to try and like represent themselves with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a discourse going around the other week on Twitter where like a bunch of trans people were like, Godzilla's ours, he's a trans icon now. And everybody's like, you mean the giant monster that blows apart cities and like rips people's lives to shreds?
These are the same weirdo people who in their mind, oh, Joker's bad, he's really bad. If you go watch his movie, you're probably gonna commit a mass shooting, but Harley Quinn is amazing and awesome and super special awesome.
Or you get this, right? You can't go see the Joker movie, it'll make you crazy and you'll overthrow the government, but I want a sexual and romantic relationship just like Joker and Harley. Like,
right?
Where, how? I don't know, but
it's a masterclass in getting people to obey your message. Like that's what they're doing. Like they have them acting one way and then they tell them the next day to act another way and they do it.
And guess what happens in this train wreck?
Bum, 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 bum. So this train wreck continues with Harley herself. So after, telling off Bruce and all that stuff, Harley kneels down, gets in Bruce's face and starts talking to him. She says, quote, "You had a good run, Brucey. Flying around Gotham, punching bad guys, cleaning up the streets, causing long-term mental and emotional damage to everyone you knew. It's our turn now. After all and then she, draws her gun and goes, after all we've been through, bet you didn't think it'd be me at the end, huh, Bats?" And Batman just goes, "Are you done with your bad stand-up routine?" And then Harley replies, "Almost, but you always got to end on your best joke." Boom! Her best joke ends up being a gunshot, presumably straight to Batman's face because he's looking right at her, and thus ends the legacy of the Arkham Batman. Now, I pointed this out in the title of this article that it's disrespectful end to Kevin Conroy's final outing as Batman. It's like I just want to give this make this clear. It's that obviously nobody knew that this was going to be his last outing, right? He kept his cancer diagnosis really close to the chest. Nobody knew until it sort of happened. So I imagine people thought, oh, he's going to go on and do more things and he's going to, voice Batman again. Then the death happens and this ends up being one of the last things they have on their slate. Okay, but you also didn't have to kill Batman at all. You also didn't have to release this last, delay something else, make them. I know there were some other, there was an animated thing that came out with him in it. There's things you can do to avoid having Kevin freaking Conroy's last canonical outing being him getting blasted in the face. And it's
shot like a dog, Spencer. Just say what it is. Shot like a dog.
I don't know, man. Even Old Yeller got better treatment than that, right? Like he got thrown off the side of a highway out of a moving vehicle, like the people who have like puppies and just don't know what to do with them. Like it's so bad. And then like this is not like, to me, this is also one of those moments of like, you spent 4 games with this Batman. This is the Batman you built the franchise off of. And the second you're done with his story, you kill him. Like he's gone. Are you insane? And then where do we go from here then in the narrative? Do we just keep getting more Suicide Squad games? Is it Superman's time? I don't know. It just all feels really misdirected, really just wrong.
And just like we were talking about earlier, it's not just the Arkham franchise, it's a superhero genre, like as a whole as well. It's influenced basically everything else. Everything superhero.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen the trend of, tear down a legacy character to build up their successor, but I don't think we've ever seen such an like outright just kill the character, just like disrespect the character. And this isn't even the first time this year. When did Gotham Knights come out?
It was last year.
What,
yeah.
Okay.
Last year.
So last year, that Gotham Knights game had essentially not the same premise, but the same outcome. So that game begins with Batman's dead after fighting somebody. I don't remember who it was. And
they
that's
killed
why
him twice. It was
right.
Ra's al Ghul in the opening scene.
Okay,
and,
so it's Ra's
like,
in the opening.
Yeah, like a sacrifice at the end, I suppose.
Yeah,
I didn't play, but I know that they killed him
No.
twice in the game.
I know. I showed you the cutscene. I know you saw the cutscene because that's what. So Batman dies, and that's why Barbara, Tim, Damian, and Dick have to, be the playable characters. At the very end of the game, the big surprise twist is that Batman was not dead, but he was being mind controlled by Ra's al Ghul. And so as soon as he snaps out of it, his first thing that he does is take the Batwing and just like rise it up into Ra's al Ghul's cave and like bring it all down around them. Again, killing him twice. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know. It's so bizarre. I mean, we all know there's obvious reasons that, the said, not said reasons, but I sit here and I go, what led to this? What made you guys sit in that room and go, this is going to be gangbusters?
Well, this is what it is, and I'll tell you, okay? And I talk about this every now and then. I may have mentioned it last week too, but they can't get around the ad blockers. They can't get around the paid, please don't show me ads. So how do you get the story about this out? Well, you have to put something in it that enrages people, so it gets people to post about it on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, so that the advertising is done by the people who are pissed off about it. The people who are curious will take a look.
So I'm not really sure how this worked for Naughty Dog, but how did that work actually when they leaked apparently the death of Joel?
I mean,
they got a TV show, didn't they? I mean,
I kind of have to think, like, I'm kind of with Cider. I think it did work out in their favor because as much as a lot of us went, what the hell are you doing? I can't believe you're killing Joel. That game still sold pretty well. And
that's what I'm asking, because I don't know what the numbers are.
Oh, I don't know them off the top of my head, but it did well enough that
it did sell.
They're remastering it. Yeah, it did sell. So
I think because it's a bunch of like reactions, like very disappointing of the players, very disappointingly playing the game and seeing like 45 minutes into the game.
So 2.8 million units in its first month.
Wow.
So
pre-sales,
not bad. Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of those are going to be pre-sales.
Oh, absolutely.
Never pre-order games, everybody.
but the pre-sales, on all fairness, were after you were made aware that Joel is dead. That Ellie's on her own for whatever reason. They didn't reveal to us until the game showed up how it happened, but we were made to be known that Ellie was on her own. But either way, I mean, this is what they're doing, quite obviously. Because if you think back now, all the dumb decisions they're making aren't that consequential when it gets to the overall presentation of what they're trying to get to. All the dumb little wokey-doke stuff they did, even Captain Marvel's introduction, didn't stop Iron Man sacrificing himself, saying, "I am Iron Man," the line that introduced him to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, And so that those changes didn't screw that up. That 5-hour Secret Wars movie thing, that's supposed to set up all of that at once without that. So you'll forgive the wokey-doke stuff, that they do, the little itty bitty wokey doke stuff, because it's forgettable. You remember Mags Visaggio last week came out and said, I've got license and I've transed the character, but it doesn't matter. It's not an important character. That's what they do.
That's how they
Basically,
get you.
And then they
you'll-
go ahead.
I was gonna say you'll forget all the wokey duff stuff when you're sitting in a theater for 3 hours begging to go home and see your family.
You gotta pee so bad. They're in the middle of a fight and somebody's about to die, and you're like, I'm gonna pee my pants, but I don't know if Thor's gonna get head caved.
Fine. Talk about Black Girl Magic. Just end the movie. I gotta go.
Right, they're gonna give you like pee jars when you go in there, like Marvel licensed pee jars, the Avengers pee jars. You know?
Can you fill it up by the end of the movie?
Yeah, right.
Share it on Instagram.
It's like a little tag on it says "not for reuse." You know? But, you know?
Just
But yeah,
a bunch
no.
of people who probably need to get their kidneys checked.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Just like sun yellow.
Just
Brown.
Auburn. Just Auburn.
Oh, it's so brown, it's purple.
Yeah.
Sweet tea.
But that's
Yeah,
what you're
right.
looking at right here. Is you're looking at like that attitude though. That we've got to do something salacious and we've got to do something extreme in order to get people like the 0-1 stream to talk about
To
this.
talk about
So
it.
that the people watching will be exposed to the product's existence at all. Because otherwise, there's no way to get advertisement to them. Who has live TV anymore? Who the hell has live TV? Who doesn't have an ad blocker or YouTube Premium? So
Right.
you're not getting that annoying ad banner that says Suicide Squad kills Batman popping up when you log into YouTube. There's no way they can get to you short of pissing you off.
Literally, like the only place I think I've ever seen a video game advertisement outside of like a news story on like IGN or whatever is like ESPN. They sometimes have like the occasional like for a big thing, but then it only plays like once a show and that's it. And so like, yeah, I'm right there with you, Cider. I believe it. I've bought in. There was, DC3 points this out. A lot of the quote sold well games were said to sell well until a month or two later. Absolute silence. And not even just their sales, but like their reception, right? And I always point to Starfield. Everybody, when that game was like dropping, 10 out of 10 across the board, even from reviewers who were like, it was a little boring, but this is the greatest game I've ever played. Oh my goodness. And that was like the first month of that game's existence, was everybody raving about this is the best thing ever. Here we are like 3 months out, and more people have had more time with this stuff. They're going, this is really stupid. This is really bad. Oh, and I think like that's kind of like what Cider's getting at here. They'll all go out and go, oh, I'll play the next Rocksteady game, whatever. And that, we're talking about it here. Maybe somebody goes, I'll play it for stream. It'll probably be cringe, yada, yada. That's one sale. They're done. Now you're everything else is yours now. Like you get the entire package and they get a sale out of it.
That's all they have, though. That's the thing. It's what I've been telling other indie creators about this. Is that the whole reason why they're killing Batman in this series, the whole reason why they tried shoving She-Hulk and putting Daredevil in She-Hulk was, I'm sorry, I got my euphemisms mixed there, but the whole thing was, the reason why they did that was in order to make sure that somebody somewhere would make a video and that 200,000 people would look at that and either choose to seek out the media itself to prove that it existed out of curiosity, or wanted to see it out of approval, or wanted to see it out of hatred. And that's how they're gambling now, is that the killing Batman is supposed to get you to buy the game to make you angry when it actually happens. That it's not a made-up thing, that it wasn't a rumor, that it's real, so that you slam your controller into the ground, you go over to Twitter and you say, this new Suicide Squad game killed Batman. And then you get 100,000 likes and retweets, and 100,000 people spread that word around the world. That's their gamble.
It's probably, and it's also probably like the first person that actually plays the game and then kind of like reads the thing like in loving memory of Kevin Conroy or whatever, right? Or at the end, the first person that completes the game and reads the same message at the end of the game after you've seen Batman being massacred by the Suicide Squad.
Right.
And then you get a video with hundreds and thousands of views.
They're going to do it cold, where she shoots him in the head. You see the blood splatter. They don't show you his head exploding, but then you see the body flop. They'll do a pause in the music. They'll show you the body flopping, the cape coming to rest. and then she's gonna do the whole pistol whip thing and put it into her holster on her hip and say, "There's another one down, boys." And that's
Cider. That's actually what happens. So this scene, like I went when I was writing the article about this.
Right here, me. If you want to know what Hollywood's doing, come to me. I need to smoke a lot of weed first, but I'll tell you.
But he'll unlock the truth. But no, like I noticed this when I was going through I had to go look through the trailers to grab images for the article yesterday, and this scene is in the game, but they cut out Batman's model. You know what I'm saying? Like they show the cutscene and like Harley's like standing there and she's got her gun and everybody's there, but there's no model right there. And then it like cuts and there's like some banter, and then she totally does the like, "It's our turn now," and she like puts like the gun in and she's like, "What's our next target?" Like you literally called it. Like that's what happens.
There you go. Super chat right here. Nailed it on the head.
$5 from Makini Draws. First of all, dude, nice to see you on our stream. I haven't like been on a stream with you in a long time. Loving all of your artwork lately. Keep at it. But Makini says, just remember, Sweet Baby Inc. is behind the writing. Yes, as we, I'm not sure if you were here for it earlier, Makini, but we went through their public like advertised website, their projects and stuff, and they have a very deep hand in like the banter, the cutscenes. I'm so confused about how they did this. If we go back to the Sweet Baby site, which I have it open. Okay. Whoa! I clicked away from it. I need to go back to Sweet Baby. But there's this moment, or like right here, they say script writing, banter, cut, space, scenes. Now, does that mean like scenes that were cut, or does that mean cut scenes? Because I think that means cut scenes, and they're just dumb, and they just put a space in it.
They put a space in it on accident.
Right? Because nobody goes in. You wouldn't brag about like, "Oh, we wrote the cut scenes from this game."
Well, look at how that reads, right? Banter, cut scenes, like they're going to cut them with scissors, then barks and audio logs. So no, that doesn't make sense. That right in the middle of that, they're going to talk to you about cutting anything. What they're talking about is like a whole cut scene. They will either write or record or totally. So.
And this is what we're seeing. This is the level of writing that comes out of Script Baby or out of Sweet Baby. There is there's like a dev diary for the game that shows off the
Script
very
Baby.
first.
That's Script Doctor's girlfriend.
No, that's his child, because Script Doctor, Script Baby, and Script Wife or Script Girlfriend, wherever she may be. Script Mama. But there's a dev diary that shows like the very first cutscene from this game, and it's the Suicide Squad breaks out, goes to the Hall of Justice, and this is where they find all their weapons and stuff. And like you were saying, Josh, it is just filled with the most like standard cringe sort of like moments, like, "Ooh, that's a nice toy," as like Harley reaches for like the Batman gun. There's a point where like Deadshot's like, "I don't need any of these weird toys or whatever. Like, I got my guns." And then I think like Digger, like Captain Boomerang convinces him to grab one. And then you see him in the background, like, "Oh, I can't control it. Like I'm so unsteady," and it's just like, Marvel, stop. But yeah, like that's all to say, Makini and everybody else, that yes, Sweet Baby, again, if you see their name on anything, run completely the other way. I'm like curious to see what they did here on the Crew Motorfest, proofreading and additional writing. It's literally just a racing game. There are no
you can't really see the model in a bikini, at the beginning of the race. That's the
thing. There's that. You can't ever really get stopped by the cops. The cop cars don't work.
No, no. What I've done. See, my background lends me to what some of this means. So the proofreading part is what every racing game has like an explanation for what's happening. Even Mario Kart has an explanation for why everybody's on a go-kart and going around the road. So that's what's happening here. So they proofread the reasoning. So it wasn't like, "We're going to race so we can rape a bunch of women," so it wasn't something like that. And then their additional writing was what they found was that the script probably didn't have enough representation in it. So they added in character dialogue that felt street or Asian or Hispanic, Latinx. And that's what they likely did. So when you're driving around listening to whatever audio is traveling between the cars, or the cutscenes.
You just got a
for
bunch
instance.
of M&M
Random-
lines like
right, you just got
blasting through your stereo.
random representation lines. Yeah, random diversity statements. Yeah.
You're just like cruising to the finish line. It's like, damn, really hard for a black man in America to get a bank loan or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Mhm.
You know, I'd be sad if I was really a victim of late stage capitalism, you know, something like that. You know,
they denied him a bank loan after like he just saved the world 2 months ago. Your writing is
Right.
flawed, Marvel.
right?
Yes, Aaron.
Fiero.
Aaron is tuning in from Twitter, which first of all, that's awesome. I've never seen comments come in from Twitter, but
Really?
yes, poor Kevin. It's Kevin's life work. I've never really been on streams that have hosted on Twitter. It's been like the last 2 0-1s or these 4-3 whatever we're at now, and then like Jacob streams. But then I'm always the only one on Twitter commenting on Jacob's streams, so that I'm on the other
Welcome,
side of it.
And he's probably ignored.
Yeah, exactly, right. Always ignored. Sometimes Rick sees me and then you're like, no, shut up, don't acknowledge him.
No.
Whoops. Hello to John Platt saying, hey, Bounding into Comics host, the mods, and chat. Hello to you. Thank you for joining us near the end of this. Kate says, are they low-key Matt Walsh fans? Kidding if you get the lore. I don't get the lore, but perhaps like Jacob and everybody else does. John Platt says, Sweet Baby Inc. is a guarantee of poopy dialogue in any modern current day video game. Stay well away from this garbage. Absolutely. I really don't think I could have end capped it better myself. Stay away from this crap. Obviously we saw what happened to the Justice League. This is where we're at now. This is everything is, you know, I meant to make this joke when Cider was explaining it to us, but essentially what Cider has informed us of is that everything from here on out, everything we see is going to have some sort of dumb combative marketing angle like that, right? And I can totally believe it, and it makes complete sense. I just wonder, is it really going to be worth it? Like something I think all these companies fail to realize is like they don't care about their reputations
long term.
Like they don't. Right. Yeah, exactly. They don't care about their long-term reputation, goals, like possibilities. They just care about like, what am I doing right now? So, I totally, you know, we killed Batman. We're so subversive. We're the best. Our game is now it's the biggest, it's number one on the market, but that's like opening day. Right. And then you go down in history as the studio that built up Batman and then killed him. Like literally, like, you can't run away from that now. Just like Aquaman can't run away from its Christmas opening date. Like all these decisions are just so short-sighted for, like Jacob likes to say, just to cause the line to move up ever so slightly on their stocks. And I mean, that is what it is. I think to that point, I want to bring up one last story. We haven't covered it yet, but I will shoot the link over. It's not a lot. There's not a lot to it yet. But in this sense of everything sort of falling under the same banner, being what do you call it, sanitized and flattened and everything. Here's a rumor that is not looking hot for anything. So according to a scoop, Warner Brothers Discovery is in talks to merge with Paramount Global. Now, it's not known who's going to be the parent host company of that. You know, like Warner Brothers Discovery is technically Warner Brothers. Right. Yeah, exactly. But this is where we're at. This is what Jacob has been telling you guys for years, right? Like we're going to get to, thanks for hiding your story, Axios. But like, this is the end game. Everything is going to be owned by like 3 different companies. That's all.
Yeah.
Because now
we're fast forwarding to like 2 major companies pretty much owning everything that you watch.
And like these companies are very close in lockstep, like ideologically and all that sort of stuff, right? Like Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount, Disney, all these, you know, they all have their woke campaigns, they all have their yada yada, their representation. Yeah. And now they're just going to be like, now they're getting to the point where it's like, yeah, you have to listen to it. You can't have an alternative economy because we have everything.
So what you're seeing here is a rapid cannibalization of the entire industry as it just slowly like consumes itself, because first you had Discovery Network, Discovery Incorporated, and then all of a sudden they bought Warner Brothers, so that turned into one company. So now Warner Brothers is talking about merging with Paramount, which is essentially going to turn 3 companies into one, and then you have Comcast swimming around there like a shark, just waiting to see who gets in control of who, so that they can make an offer, and then they can have on top of that as well, and then maybe, I don't know, if you look at it right now, Sony is having money issues. Disney's having money issues. It could be somebody like, I know, Apple or maybe Amazon or something like that. Someone with enough billions in the bank to kind of cannibalize those two as well. And then next thing you know, two companies control everything you watch on television. There's nothing that you can do about it. And for those people out there who are holding their breath that, oh, well, the government will never allow this to happen because it'd be a monopoly law. It's like, I don't know where you've been over the last several years, but if you think that this government is going to stop anything from becoming a duopoly, yeah, you're holding your breath. It made me suffocate.
Yeah, you're probably going to pass out pretty soon. We literally had them approve the Activision Blizzard merger earlier this year. That's a giant like step towards a video game duopoly or triopoly or whatever you want it, whatever it ends up being. And they said, we're cool, go for it. Yeah, no, you're not going to get government like intervention on this. This is they probably want this. This is probably, you know, some economist is going, oh, this will be a great boost to our destroyed economy. President Biden, you're going to get some approval points. We've got this. Don't worry. Like,
yeah, these people figured out a long time ago that it's easier to control like 2 or 3 big corporations rather than like 31 smaller ones. So they just been allowing them to just like slowly like cannibalize each other for like 30 years. And like now they're in position like, oh, we almost have total control.
It's kind of crazy to think about it like that, Jacob. Like you have, like, to me now, I just imagine like all these companies sitting here going like, see all those like 20 companies, give it 5 years. They won't be here and we'll just swoop in and take them all. And that's literally what happened, right?
Yeah. Like, so I'm going to guess you guys don't pay much attention to Korea.
I do not.
So Samsung has become life and death to them. It is become the, like the anime cyberpunk. No, it is it. Samsung has life insurance. Samsung has colleges. Samsung has private elementary schools. Samsung has private military. Samsung has farms. Samsung has grocery stores. They have electronic stores, obviously. They have farm equipment. They make cars now. Samsung is everything in Korea.
I always say this.
Shoes.
Because if you pay attention to like Japanese and Korean culture, like the corporations have a lot more control of like everything, even more than like in the United States. If you can somehow like believe that, it's like literally like if you talk about baseball, like for instance, it's like the baseball teams in Korea are literally owned by corporations. Like Samsung literally has its own baseball team that has won multiple championships out there in South Korea,
and that's like that's their league. It's like they're all it's not the San Diego Padres, the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's like the Samsung Tigers, the Nokia,
and the LG Twins, and something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, I had no idea that, like, wow, like that is like a cyberpunk medical mechanica. Like everybody has to rely.
Oh, that's
on
right.
Them,
medical
no matter
equipment.
what.
That's right.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Everything that you experience in Korea.
Doctor, get a Samsung pacemaker, and then get some Samsung life insurance, and go to a Samsung, what do you call that? Like a nursing home, and then finally die in a Samsung hospital bed, in a Samsung branded hospital bed.
Right. After you choked on a Samsung hot dog.
Yeah, Kia has a team, KT, LG, Lotte, NC, Samsung, SSG, Hyundai. Like they're all, like I said, it's even more corporatized.
It's a cyberpunk dystopia. It really is.
That's really crazy. And then like you add in all the other stuff with Korea, like the plastic surgery trends and dwindling birth rates, and wow, like it is there's our future. There's that microcosm of our future.
Yep.
John Platt says, if anyone thinks that creepy Joe Biden and the dumb-ocrat party will step in and stop Disney, Comcast, Apple from monopolizing video games and films, TV shows, you're deluded by physical media, folks. Oh, I think that's where we all sort of are now, is that we don't trust the government they're not going to take care of us.
Blu-rays are going to be the new Bitcoin.
Oh my God. Hey man, can I get a burger? I got the shooter on Blu-ray. Can I get a burger, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's me in HD. First of all, what's up, buddy? He says, I was just about to say Japan is Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, not quite, according to what Cider just informed us. Like that's
right now, it's really not. Their population has dropped so far, right? So they'll talk. I don't know if you know this or not, but like there's people that talk about they shut down Tokyo at night now. They shut it down. Yeah, they just shut it down.
Wow.
The hospitals are open, the restaurants are open, but the shops close up, the bars are closed, like the bars are closed.
Right.
They shut it down. There's nobody around. Everybody's got to go home and
crazy.
work. They
That's
can't
the
afford
crazy
to
thing about Japan. It's almost like Dubai in a lot of aspects. It's like if you look at it just from a structural standpoint, it looks gorgeous, and then when you start looking at the people and the situation and the morale, it's like, oh wow, this is a terrible situation that's happening right now.
Right now,
Oh, man,
the most
this is
popular
really
show,
bad.
the most popular show for people in our age group here, this 25 to 40 age group, right? So not us on the panel, but this is basically where we are in our age.
Yeah,
group.
yeah.
The most popular show in Japan is about a man that runs an overnight noodle shop where he cooks any meal you ask him to if you come into his shop and pay for it. But it's a therapy show. You listen. He comes in. You come in and you levy with him. Like these are for the graveyard shift workers. So these people come in at like 2 a.m. in the morning. His shop doesn't open until midnight. So they come in and at like 2 a.m. in the morning. They confess that they're having trouble at home. They can't date because they have to take care of their elderly loved one or whatever. And he gives them a little bit of advice as a man who's lived through a lot, maybe fought in a war, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he saves their lives. So he has like it's sort of Cheers. It's a little bit like Cheers, but it's also kind of like the Ghost Whisperer thing too, where like people and families are put back together by this guy making fucking omelets. It's beautiful. It's the most popular because it relates to these people.
Is it fiction or is it real?
What's that?
No. Is it fiction? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just
It's a really great show in Japan.
I want to watch it now.
Well, it addresses this workforce that is just at the brink of their existence. And all they have is their work and their duty to their family. They can't build their own family. They can't even get laid. They don't have time. So this show kind of like two people meet in the restaurant and they're confessing their problems to the bartender and they realize they have the same problems and they start talking to each other. And over the course of the season, they eventually get engaged to be married and they get married at the noodle shop. And so it really tries to tell the story of this like ground into dust workforce that has no hope, but this teeny tiny little overnight noodle shop where some semblance of family exists.
And like, that's I think that's not even just a Japanese thing. I think that's a like an epidemic we're seeing everywhere, right? Like the loneliness epidemic where people just aren't connecting. I mean, America's birth rate is dwindling too. Our marriage economy is in the toilet. I have no idea what wedding planners are doing nowadays. Probably like begging on the street because just nobody's meeting. Oh yeah, probably. That's a really good point. Did you guys see that South Park dropped like an OnlyFans like specific related special today, like out of nowhere? I haven't seen it yet. I've seen nothing about it, but I was just like blown away that here's a full-on episode about the Twitch stuff. Let's see. I wanted to bring up Don't Let Them Burn says consolidation of power. The normal people won't notice. That's exactly what it is, right? Consolidate it all into one or two companies. What is that? My friends, I believe we have a charge ready. I believe our target has been locked. I believe everything is set. Cider, can you confirm coordinates?
Sure. We're ready to fire.
All right. I think this is it, folks. Cider, on your mark. Whenever you are ready, fire at will.
Hey, remember that guy?
I was gonna say our opening discussion of him was just as short as his like run in the MCU. Like,
yeah, too long, didn't read. He's fired, and Marvel screwed.
Yep, Marvel
hit him with the laser. He's gone.
Hit him with the laser, and now in that dust of the laser, we can build a 5-hour Avengers movie.
He was Kang.
He was, dude. That's been my favorite joke. So I've been saying it like every day.
I hope they make a Che Guevara hat, like this shirt of him, and it says he was Kang on it. Right?
He was Kang's.
He's got his head up. He's got the beret on. And
do you guys remember during this entire saga, like one thing I feel like a lot of people don't talk about? Do you remember when he broke up that fight, like Jonathan Majors? There was that video of like two kids fighting, and all of a sudden he appears out of nowhere.
Hold on there, young blood. You can't be out here fighting on this.
He like approaches him like he's like Theo Huxtable, like it's a freaking like sitcom.
It's
like,
a PSA, like it's a PSA.
Yes, that's exactly.
I'm Jonathan Majors, otherwise known as Kang the Conqueror. Yeah. But I'm here to talk to you about crack.
That and his whole made-up relationship with Megan Good to try to win back Black Twitter because he's on trial for
That
like,
was
no
so
white
fake.
woman.
That was so beyond fake.
Well, he's not on trial anymore. He's been
Yeah. So in
convicted.
case you guys missed the news, Jonathan Majors was officially found guilty on 2 or I don't even remember how many counts, but I think he was charged with 4. Got found guilty on 2 of them for harassment and assault. With that, he now faces up to 1 year in prison. His sentencing is set for February, but immediately after that all happened, we got the news from Marvel that he is gone. He is officially out of their universe, which, I mean, as you can all probably tell from the panel and the chat, nobody here was really a fan of that direction they were going in anyway, right? Like
I said really last night, 10 months ago, they thought this guy was literally going to bring them to like a post-Thanos renaissance and revive the entire MCU. That was 10 months ago.
And just in that short amount of time, look, I don't even want to say like how the mighty have fallen, just how they have fallen. Am I right? So yeah, as Siders got up here, rumors are circulating that in the wake of the Jonathan Majors stuff, Marvel has started making plans for Doctor Doom to come in. Again, another major W to Cider. He's looking like he's going to be just disconnected from the Fantastic Four. Like he's just a Thanos now, which is what Cider has been saying all along. And yeah, I kind of have to believe that so here's what really gets me about this story is that this is sort of like the first time we've ever seen one of these companies sort of wait and go, okay, let's see everything that comes out and then we'll make our decision, which is how we should be operating in this country, but we often don't. Also, it's insane to me that Jonathan Majors gets fired, or like he should have. Like I agree with that decision. He's not somebody you want representing your company, but Ezra Miller is still like nobody said crap about him. Like that's insane. And this is
they tried so hard to make you pretend like that he didn't exist. It was just like please don't mention anything about him.
They tried so hard, and yet the Flash is out there. Everybody knows it's out there. Everybody saw it. It's just like, again, it's the double-sided, two-faced self-servingness of all these sort of like leftist, like the leftist rhetoric, ways of thinking, all that sort of stuff, which is, you know, or like to that point, it's hilarious that, you know, the black guy got fired immediately, but the white guy, you know, oh, let's hold on, let's everybody defend him, let's wait and see. And okay, yeah, he can still have a career. Everybody's working with him.
Jonathan's problem is that he didn't identify as they them. See, he went after the black girl, but he went for the wrong playbook. That's what he ran the wrong play. He should have passed instead of ran. It's just like a whole thing.
I mean, no, dude, he should have just pulled an Ezra Miller, choke slammer in Iceland, and then say, you know, I'm non-binary, I'll get away with it. Remember, like Caitlyn Jenner killed somebody, and everybody just kind of forgets about it. Buckle up, buckaroos. Let's see. Hates me and HD says, man, I know it gets a lot of hate, but 2016 Secret Wars to me was superb. So I actually kind of agree with you, but with a very severe asterisk, which is I really liked the series. I'm a big fan of all the battle worlds they did, which was essentially just giant what ifs where they could play with whatever they wanted and there was no continuity and it let people flex their muscles or whatever, because we all knew at the very end it was all going away. My biggest problem with that series is that they were clearly going to reset everything. Like this was going to be their Crisis on Infinite Earths. We were going to start at ground zero for Marvel. But because of Miles Morales, they altered their plans like 3/4 of the way through the series so that instead of clearing the Marvel universe and everything is, you know, at zero, everything is how it was before the event, but Miles is now in the 616. Like that's what really pisses me off about that story is that I think a refresh would do Marvel great. Like they've never done a full-on Crisis, but instead they just want to carry over Miles. And they strung you along for like 12 issues just for that resolution. It leaves such a sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, the made-up gender Ezra declared provided the shield. Props to the agent who convinced him to take up that grift. Oh man, probably like, Ezra, I know how to get out of this. Don't worry. Check this out. Let me show you Twitter. This is something new going on Twitter.
You call
Um,
yourself a they them. You can literally kidnap a child and take them on like a cross country drug fueled cult adventure. It's amazing.
you can
If,
literally
if
you
you're
can
if you're a they them, you can literally take a steel chair and crack a woman inside the head of it like you're Stone Cold Steve Austin. No one says a word.
She could even be pregnant and nobody can say nothing to you because you're a they them.
As a matter of
Maybe-
fact, they'll just play your mugshot on the TV when you show up to the party the next day.
You know,
Oh,
when you
that's
break
right,
out
I
the
forgot about
vacuum
that.
cleaner in front of your dog. That's what they them is for anybody who wants to start trouble.
Oh man. No, it is definitely that shield. That's hilarious. What was it? Leslie. Oh, Leslie said that girl in the pic looks like Jacob's favorite singer, Taylor Swift. Oh yeah, she kind of does. That's Invisible Woman, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah, that's way too much courage for Taylor Swift.
Wait, hold on.
Pencil thin.
Taylor Swift is actually a real person. I thought she was like an adjective, like, oh my gosh, you're Taylor Swift level so stupid.
No, she's actually an AI. She's an AI, like or she's like an AI hologram combination, like Prince.
Don't do that. Remember that Disney movie, Simone? Oh, don't do
Yep.
that because she looks like
That's
Taylor Swift. That hurts
literally
my
what I was
brain
thinking
now.
of, Cider. Literally
She's
what I was
basically
thinking of.
she's basically singing Brie Larson. That's what she is.
No,
This-
not
this-
that
this-
bad.
This begs the question: will
least her
they
feet
cast
aren't-
Taylor Swift as Sue Storm?
Gosh, no. It's gonna be. The rumor is that it's gonna be Vanessa Kirby, the most like blasé actress I think I've ever seen in modern Hollywood.
But
She's
they've
not
got the
bad.
multiverse now. So
No, I can see
Sue
it.
Storm will get.
Oh yeah, with the multiverse, have her do a little cameo while they jump around the multiverse.
Yeah, she's like the classic Sue Storm with like the boobie cutout hole, but because she's
The
it's
90s
not-
one.
it's
Hell
just
yes.
us, you know.
Oh man, I totally had something I wanted to say about all that, but now I totally blanked.
Now
So
you're thinking
instead of
about
blinking-
boobies. You're welcome.
Yes, I am. Now I gotta go, guys. I'll see you later.
Mhm.
The Yellow Ranger.
I'm back. Yes, exactly. I gotta go look up the Yellow Rangers photos. But
Well-
Kate says, or go ahead, Jacob. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna bring up this photo here because this is
Yeah.
basically Jonathan Majors week in a nutshell right here. And I mean, pretty much tells the perfect story.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is something I need everybody here to understand this. And this is something I told Jacob earlier, and I've mentioned it throughout our coverage on these streams, on everybody, wherever. But the lawyer Jonathan Majors hired,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, she has an awful track record. She does not have any good, like, she's never won a case. So, for example, let's see. Where are all of her things? I know that. So, there's
if we're being completely honest with ourselves here for a second, I know there's a lot of people on the internet who are really, really angry that Jonathan Majors got convicted. You really shouldn't be surprised. We said this like the first week this whole thing happened, when the first statement the lawyer made is like, oh, well, we got evidence that's going to vindicate, our president. This whole thing is going to go away. This is nothing, Burger. Don't pay any attention to it. Then it was like a week later. It's like, where's the evidence?
Well, where is
And
it?
then-
Where is it?
And then it's like the next week later, it's like, oh, this is going to court, so you lied. And then it just got slowly worse and worse and worse as the time went on.
To me, the crux, like, obviously there was always the chance that, like, maybe, like, that very, very minuscule chance, right, Jacob? But then there was that point where Chaudhry, like, his lawyer came out and basically said something along the lines of, like, the only reason Jonathan Majors is being arrested is because of, like, systemic racism in policing in America, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, as soon as she dropped that, I was like, really?
I have breaking news. They have just announced the new title for the Avengers 5. Okay. They just announced it. That's right. It's Avengers 5. Kang chokes a bitch.
Well, see, this is perfect. This sets up the X-women that they want, right?
Yep.
And
the X-women, indeed. Yes.
That's what he should have done. He should have just been like, "Hey, I'm method acting. This is all for a role. What are you doing? Like let me do my plot."
Right.
Dude, the second I heard that quote, when he told his white girlfriend to be more like Maya Angelou, I was like, oh, he did it. Oh, he absolutely did it.
He like Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama, Loretta Scott King, and then he goes like, "I am a great man doing great things for like my community and the world." And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, you're done. Like this is it."
You remember how like Namor the actor that played Demore basically did the same thing, and he got
Yeah.
disappeared too, but nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody cared because who cared about that role? Yeah, we've had no updates on that either. That's a really good point.
He did the
But-
same thing though.
So check this out, guys. Here's the like top 3 highest. So Major's lawyer, her name is Priya Chaudhry. She is like a high profile Hollywood lawyer. Here are some of the cases she had before Majors that she had already completed, and Majors still hired her like after these results. So one of her her clients was a filmmaker by the name of Paul Haggis, who was accused in a civil trial of like sexual assault, like rape, like really bad stuff. He lost, and he had to pay her out. Like, not only did he have to pay the woman $7.5 million, which is what they were like going for, but the judge a couple days later added 2.5 to it. Like, she lost so bad that they kept they were able to boost up the charges against this guy. Then she also she was also the lawyer for Jen Shaw, who some of you might know because she's actually like on TV and stuff. But she was a Real Housewife of Salt Lake City. She had it was like a fraud case, like scams or something. She lost, and she's currently sitting in jail right now because Chaudhry couldn't get her out. She's serving 6.5 years in a Texas prison right now because Chaudhry is incompetent. And then we had another. There was you guys know Coinbase, the like crypto platform, I guess you could call it. So the ex-manager of that site, his brother was he got in trouble for insider trading on like Coinbase's like crypto algorithms and stuff, and she defended him, and he lost like really, really, really bad. And she even tried to go, oh, he served time already while he was in holding, he can get out. And they were just like, no, he's going away, like extra time. So Chaudhry doesn't have a good track record. These are your high profile clients, and all of them have gotten not just a loss, but not reduced, but increased like sentencing. Like, this is not a lawyer you should be going out and hiring. And yet Jonathan Majors, Mr. I'm a Marvel star, I'm trying to defend my career, he goes and hires this woman. I don't understand it, but I just need everybody to know that Jonathan Majors hired like the worst possible lawyer you could have found in Hollywood.
Well, it's not like he's been making like the right decisions anyway. So.
Okay, completely fair. But you would think maybe, or what is it? Like a stop or a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Just give me one win for just get a better lawyer, Jonathan. That's all you need. I'm a great man. I love how Aries Spear said Jonathan getting together with Megan Good was a PR move. It absolutely was. There's no way around that. Like, they were together the next day. She was showing up at his trial by his side. Like, it's like Jacob said, it was trying to re-ingratiate himself to like the black culture or whatever. And clearly it didn't work. Maybe Major should have gotten Juicy Smollett's lawyer, but here's the thing, don't let them burn. Smollett's also going back to prison. Like, he just lost his appeal. His legal team sucks too. So he served like 3 days in prison. Now he's got to go back for his entire, it's not that long. I think it's like 3 months or something, but he's still got to go back and pay back all of his fines. Like, these people are not hired. Like, they're not sending their best. That's pretty much the best way
should be hiring the Alec Baldwin legal team.
Honestly, he's gonna
get
have
away
Christmas.
with murder. Choke anyone you want. Just
get away with murder. Get away with injuring people. Whatever you want. But as long as you got Alec Baldwin,
well, you got to vote Democrat.
and of course, I mean, Majors probably did, right? Like, I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure they
should have been the golden child for Hollywood, but unfortunately, he is not.
There was a video of Alec Baldwin screaming at a dude just recently.
I saw that. I don't know anything what it's about. Do you know that, Josh?
It was something about Israel and Palestine, and Alec Baldwin with normal Alec Baldwin. So
he's kind of like what's his name? Sean Penn. He always just has to interject himself into every situation, whether he has anything to do with it or not. And that's like,
I mean, is this the same guy who got caught on video calling his own daughter like a fat cow or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said a lot of other things too. He said a lot of Mel Gibson things too, but he didn't get in the same kind of trouble that Mel Gibson did.
Who is his lawyer? We need to know this actual wizard.
His lawyer is Benjamin Franklin and a lot of his friends.
Yeah.
The original, some Lincolns, some Jacksons. I believe those are the names of his legal team. But I think with that, guys, with the Jonathan Majors news, we are already, we've almost gone an hour over our normal runtime. I think this is a really good spot to call it for tonight. We've hit a jillion different topics. We've, instead of just complaining about Majors, we've followed Disney's footsteps and eliminated him.
Laser.
With a laser, we blew him away. He's disintegrated. We gave him a better ending. That destruction of Kang right there was a better ending to Kang than Ant-Man actually gave him.
Yep.
A laser over a group of socialist ants. But so I avoid Sweet Baby.
I thought you were going with like it's a better ending than what's the name of the developer did with Batman.
Insomniac Games. I mean, it's a better ending than that too.
No,
what we gave Majors
Rocksteady.
Was more, Rocksteady. Sorry, not Insomniac. What we gave him, like our Majors laser, was more we were more respectful to Majors with the laser than they were to Batman with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is the one who kills Batman. Like, shut up.
Girl power.
Yes, Queen. But yeah, so with that, I think we'll go around the horn, see what everybody's got going on, and you can start us off. Jacob, what do you got going?
I got nothing this week because I'm taking a week off of streaming, so
that's
we won't
right.
be back. We won't be back until the 30th, where we got our best and worst movies of the year, and I got a whole bunch of guests lined up for that one. So till then, just follow me on my YouTube, and I will be working on. Even worse than that.
I know.
And then I will be working on some new movie reviews for the YouTube site too. So there'll be some reviews to look forward to this weekend. So that's it.
Yeah, and guys, again, I'll probably bring it up every show, but yeah, Jacob is now doing primarily video reviews for us on the Bounding main channel. They're good. They're bite-sized. Check him out. He's delivering the same content, but now you can hear his personality and everything come through it. It's fantastic. I love it. But Cider, what have you got going on, my jolly man?
I just make videos for Bounding, read the articles that Spencer writes. So tune in and see that.
Those guys. See, you're selling yourself too short. You've been killing it with the video content. It's quality, it's consistent. Give yourself a round of applause. Josh, what have you got going on?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of editing, and I wanted to write the story about South Park. So I don't know what that is, but maybe just write about that.
Oh man, all you have to do is like crack open the episode and just be like, "Here's a recap," and that's all you need to do because they
and I get to enjoy it as well. So
right, exactly. You got to take it. I mean, that's what I've got to do as soon as we hop off. Well, I don't gotta, but I'm going to. And then before we go. Wow. Okay, first of all, two things before we go. One, Will Smith should play Kang. He only slaps men, so he's okay for Hollywood. And then Hey It's Me in HD says, he asked one last question. Do you think that this new focus with Harley Quinn killing Batman is to deflect for the heavy criticism the gameplay was getting? No, because I don't think this is better. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about the gameplay anymore, but now it's like, okay, gameplay's bad, and they kill Batman. What are we doing here? And it's also just got that awful, awful, awful gear system that we should never be messing with ever again in video games. I'm so sick of gear systems. I don't need a plus 0.1% to like Joker thugs or whatever. Stupid. But as for me, guys, yes, every day you can check out boundingintocomics.com. We have new articles going up, new videos going up. There's always something happening over there. As always, you can come back same bat time, same bat channel next week for another episode of 01. Luckily, Christmas is before the regular stream day, so we're not going to be interrupted there, unless maybe the guys want to take a break. I don't know. We'll let you know. But if you want to catch more of me, you can catch me on Twitter at KabutoWriterMav. You can also catch me Fridays on my own channel where I do the Good, the Mad, the Ugly stream, where we sort of deep dive into topics that might not get a lot of attention around our spheres. This Friday, we're going to review, sort of just go through and talk about the Yu Yu Hakusho live action series. I'm rereading it so that we're fully prepared for Friday. So if you care about that, if you want to check it out, stop on by. And yeah, I believe with that, we'll wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a great holiday. You get to hang out with friends, family, pass out on the couch, eat a bunch of food, drink a bunch of stuff. Don't get too hedonistic. Don't follow my opening advice, but definitely have yourselves an incredible Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys.
And we'll see you soon.
Happy festivals.